Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour one of Jon and Jim. We're back at Mountain West Football Media Days in Las Vegas at the Circa Hotel, and we've got a really good show lined up for you once again. In fact, Sean Lewis will be on the show. I'm telling you, life with Jim, I didn't even expect to start here. For whatever reason, you can't do the Crohn's and colitis read without, why is that making you laugh? You can't just do the Crohn's read and just keep the straight face. What is it about that read?
Well,
that you were unable to do? Is it what was it? Just
we know. Okay,
so bowel disease.
Yeah. So here's the thing: we all know that I don't proofread the sponsors before I read them.
But you did today.
Only the top.
Brent, I watched him proofreading this read earlier.
I just did
but he
this.
only read the top, not the bottom,
because I wanted to make sure Crohn's and Colitis Foundation
is how you say it.
Yeah, and so I proofread that part. But the other part I didn't proofread, and when I got to forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research,
you just lost it.
I just lost. I'm sorry.
Not made for you.
It's not made for me. I have a mind of a 8-year-old.
Correct.
Okay, it's not good for when bowel movement inflammatory disease is mentioned
in front of your face.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Okay, it caught me a little off guard. And you know what? Life goes on, and we move forward. But now I know.
Now you know.
Now the more you know.
All right, we're not going to talk about that with Sean Lewis coming up at 3:30, but he will join us. San Diego State second-year football head coach Chris Vannini from The Athletic will join us at 2:30 as well. We'll talk about everything playing out between the Pac-12 and the Mountain West. We have more Comic-Con badges, Jim.
Yes, we do.
That really is the lead here today. You're going to hear that Superman theme song every hour during today's show.
Maybe multiple
times
an hour.
Yep, at least once an hour. When you hear the theme song, you're going to open the iHeartRadio app. You're going to search for San Diego Sports 760. You're going to leave a talk back. You're going to put us in your presets as well, San Diego Sports 760. And then once you've done that, you're qualified to win 2 single-day badges for Comic-Con next week in San Diego. The catch is, when you hear the theme song, you will have exactly 5 minutes to open the app, search for 760, use the talkback mic, tell us your favorite superhero, and you're going to hear that every single hour, and then we'll announce the winner of today's badges coming up at 5:30.
Yep, we have a pair of badges to give away today, and then one final pair of badges tomorrow. So if you've been trying to win these badges all week, you got 2 more chances. Well, multiple chances because you qualified today, but 2 more pairs of badges, to give away on today's show and tomorrow's show as well.
All right. So you know how they say, in Vegas, what happens here stays here. You expect a night in Vegas, things can get crazy, right? People are out all night. People are at clubs, whatever. I mean, you can imagine what goes on in Las Vegas. Then there's me and Jim. And we were talking about it on air yesterday. We said that we found this vending machine that has mystery sports cards and Pokemon cards and jerseys.
Yes.
And you basically... It's like Vegas. It's a gamble, right? You put your credit card against this vending machine, and for a certain amount of money, you're going to get a random baseball card or you're going to get a random Pokemon card. And we were enamored. Who just used enamored recently? It was Dennis Lynn.
Yeah.
Talking about A.J. Preller's desire to land Jaron Duran.
Yeah, he's enamored with him.
Well, we were enamored to find this machine, this Lucky Box vending machine. And it turns out it's 500 feet away.
It was right across the street.
I mean, it was truly 500 feet. No joke. A 1-minute walk.
And we've been looking up Lucky Box vending machines, and a lot of videos that I found was from the one that we went to last night at the Plaza Hotel.
So we get there, and honestly, we walked there with no intentions. We weren't like, we're definitely spending money in this vending machine. We wanted to see it. We didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know walking up to it.
I was going to peer pressure you until you did it.
And you didn't even have to peer pressure me. I walk up, and it's $125.
Yeah, it's
for
not cheap.
A mystery sports card. Now, it's going to be either 10 graded, like the best grade, or it's going to be like 10 autograph graded.
Yeah.
So you're going to have an autograph that's like a really nice autograph. But you don't know. It could be anything from give me anything. I mean, a football player to a basketball player to a baseball superstar. I mean, we just don't know.
It could have been a Zach Wilson
sign card.
Yeah. PSA 10 card.
Trey Lance
PSA 10. Like guys that aren't going to get you big time money for the rookie
or maybe
cards.
like Shohei Ohtani. I mean, we have no idea what we're walking into. So it's $125. I'm like, you know what? We're in Vegas. I'm not going to spend it at roulette. I'm not playing blackjack. We're not going to be out all night. yeah, sure, it's like 6 p.m. Our night just started, but
Yeah.
I put the credit card up against this thing. There's video, by the way. If you're not following Jon and Jim on Instagram, because you've been posting some great content, there's a full video of me doing this because Jim took the video and what plays out.
And I also put it on X as well. So if you have Instagram, you can go on
So
X.
please follow us there. We'll follow you back right now, by the way, if you follow us.
But for anybody, because we saw a little bit of this in the comments, this was not staged.
This is all real. I don't know how to stage.
Real.
If I could stage something in Vegas, I would do it at the blackjack table.
100%.
I would do it at the roulette table because I'd be a rich man.
So you go up to the machine.
Up to the thing.
You pay the $125.
If you're watching on YouTube right now, you can see what comes out of the vending machine.
Get the lucky box.
Okay, there's a box in a box.
Yeah.
And then, to my surprise, I open the box.
This guy.
And there it is, a Fernando Tatis Jr. signed Bowman 2022 card. I mean, I could not believe it.
Like what?
I was ecstatic to the point that we got back into the hotel here at Circa. I saw Sean Lewis, and the first thing I said is, wait until you see what we did tonight. He's like, do I want to know? I'm like, you want to know. And we told him about it. So it starts like a home run.
Oh,
it
home
starts
run,
like an absolute home run.
Yeah.
We're telling the story. No. I'm telling the story that I told Sean Lewis last night on air right now about what happened. Jamie, I need to tell you about this off air. We hit this sports card vending machine. Look what comes out of the sports card vending machine last night in Vegas. Fernando Tatis Jr. signed card. So it's a home run, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. So Jim's like, I want to double down.
Of course.
Because he loves Pokemon. And they have a Pokemon card that'll come out of the vending machine as well.
Yeah. So here's what happened.
So I hit the home run. Jim strikes out.
Yeah. Jon gets the absolute, banger of a card. And I want to get a Pokemon card. Okay. So Pokemon cards were cheaper. They were like $80. Okay.
$75.
$75, $80 with tax.
$100.
That right there, $100 card Jon has. 100. I mean, maybe at the time it could go up to like 150, depending on what happens with Tatis. Like if Tatis has an MVP season,
it goes up.
That goes up.
Right. Yeah. $100.
It's worth something. So I put in the money for my card. Comes out in this red box right here. All right. If you're watching on YouTube, you're seeing that. Obviously, on the radio, you can't see.
Now, for people that don't know Pokemon, what's the one thing you don't want to hit with Pokemon?
The one thing you don't want to hit, if I'm doing like a gamble here, I don't want like a trainer card. I don't want just like a regular card. What I'm looking for is what's called a holographic card.
Okay.
Charizard, that's obviously the big one.
Obviously.
Yeah. It's some could be worth $5,000 to $10,000. All right. And I've seen videos of this in Vegas, people hitting cards that are worth $500. $1,200,
$2,000 card,
$2,000 card.
Yeah.
The other night I saw, so I open it up, and I get a Gem Mint 10, 1999 Japanese trainer card that's worth $5.
I was videotaping him last night. It might even be worth it. I was recording. You should have seen his face. The second he opened it, he saw that it was a trainer. He was so disappointed. It was after I have the elation of Fernando Tatis Jr. signed card, he ends up with the $2 trainer card.
Let me just say this. I couldn't give this away.
He tried to leave it there.
If I tried. That's how bad this card is. If I went to a card show and I went to a table and I said, look, I'll give this card to you for free.
They don't want it.
They'll be like, no, we're good. That's how bad this card is.
I'm surprised they would put a card of that low quality in the machine. Now, I get it. Not every card is going to be like a home run. Like, you don't go to the roulette table and always hit your number. Everyone knows you can lose your money there, and we get it. It's a mystery box. You're not always going to hit a home run, but you think it would be something of at least value in there.
Zero value. I tried to find something on eBay that would make me feel better. Like, oh, this card sold for $40. Okay, it's whatever. No, the best card that sold was $12. So,
well, you win some, you lose some.
And with me, I always lose some. So you know what? It's you live and learn.
Listen.
And
how many? Here's the funny thing. Since we posted this on social media, there have been so many people to reach out. Like, where do I find that machine? I want to do something like that. What are the possibilities? They have Fernando Tatis Jr. cleats, by the way, in one of these vending machines
in Vegas.
You open it up, and there's a golden ticket. It says you've won a pair of signed Fernando Tatis Jr. cleats.
I like Frank in our YouTube chat says the plastic display, which is the CGC grade. Slab. He says that and the box is worth more than the card. It probably is. I mean, the box is cooler than the card. So
are we going to try again?
Here's the
Honestly,
thing. No, I'm not going to try.
Should I
try
double
again.
down? This is kind of like hitting on the roulette table.
No,
but
you
got to walk away sometimes.
John.
You walk away. When you got money in your pocket,
Yeah.
right? If you put down $100 at blackjack and then all of a sudden you're up to 300, put the initial 100 back in your pocket. Maybe put another 100 back in your pocket. Play the
because I'm telling you,
but I'm not going to play it again.
I'm telling you, if you go back and you get another card for another $130,
Eric Hosmer,
not even that. Eric Hosmer would actually be a fine card to get. I'm talking like Bryce Johnson.
Right.
The card I got, if I'm putting it into
sports
analogy terms for people out there that don't know Pokemon cards, I got a Bryce Johnson card in for $80. So,
but it's a story.
It is what it is.
I mean? It's a good story.
At least one of us got something
I'm
good.
thrilled. I'm thrilled with this.
So if you have not seen the video of John and myself last night at the Lucky Box, go to our Instagram page at Jon and Jim, or go to my X account, Jim Russell SD. Give us a follow and watch the video. It's
pretty amazing. Because honestly, what are the odds?
Yeah.
Let's think about this for a second to our listeners and viewers. What are the odds a San Diego sports talk host that spends literally hundreds of hours a year, you and I, talking Padres baseball, whether it's on the radio or on the wrap-up show, what on earth are the odds that in a mystery vending machine with sports cards that could spit out a soccer card, by the way, we've seen like messy stuff, that what comes out of it is a Fernando Tatis Jr. card? What on earth are the odds of that? And how many times have I said over the years on this show that my favorite player is Fernando Tatis Jr.? Boom,
you've been looking at Tatis.
I've been looking at his cards
for a while.
Forever.
Well,
so
you're not doing it again.
Well, on the way out of town.
Thinking about it, I'm just glad that one of us got a hit. And by the way,
honestly, we're both winners because we went to all-you-can-eat sushi last night.
Dude, that sushi was incredible. And Lucky Box, one of their social media members, reached out to us. They're like, "Hey, we don't want to get you in contact with like the president of the company." You're like, "What?"
Listen, hey, let's talk, Lucky Box.
Hey,
all right,
talk, buddy.
On the other side, let's start the show. We're going to talk about the latest Padres trade rumors, including what Ken Rosenthal wrote today in The Athletic about Luis Robert Jr. of the White Sox. You're going to want to hear that. Plus, Chris Vannini from The Athletic here in Vegas will join us to talk about the Pac-12 and the Mountain West. Plus, Sean Lewis, San Diego State's football coach, entering year 2, will join us live right here from our broadcast location in Las Vegas at 3:30. A ton to get to. Don't go anywhere. It's Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Sean Lewis, Aztecs head coach, will join us at 3:30. Chris Vannini from the Athletics scheduled to join us coming up in about 12 minutes or so. We also remind you that San Diego FC back Saturday night. They'll take on Vancouver at Snapdragon. You can hear the match live Saturday starting at 7 right here on San Diego Sports 760. Your home for SDFC as their Canadian swing continues. They lost to Toronto last night. They'll get Vancouver at home on Saturday. We'll talk more about that coming up on today's show. Oh, wow. We can't even get this show started. There's so much going on. There it is, Superman theme song. You've got 5 minutes, exactly 5 minutes right now, to open the app, the iHeartRadio app. Search for San Diego Sports 760. Click on the talkback little red microphone and tell us your favorite superhero. Once you do that, if you do it within the next 5 minutes, you're automatically entered to win 2 single-day badges to Comic-Con next week in San Diego. Today's winner will be announced at 5:30. Open that app right now and put us in your presets as well, San Diego Sports 760.
I was about to say that. Make sure you put San Diego Sports 760 in your presets on the iHeartRadio app, and then use the talkback mic button to tell us your favorite superhero, and you're qualified. It's that simple, that easy. Do that right now. You got under 5 minutes to qualify. And again, we're announcing the grand prize winner of today's badges at 5:30.
Can I give you a really quick cool story, and then we'll get to the Padres? Because I just saw it 1 minute ago from Shams. Dame Lillard is signing a deal with the Portland Trailblazers to head back to Portland on a 3-year deal. Dame Lillard apparently will finish his career in Portland where he started it. All right. Ken Rosenthal from The Athletic, writing today, I think the title of the article is What I'm Hearing. And he writes this about
Ken.
Ken. He writes this about Luis Robert Jr., the Padres. He says, perhaps a team such as the Padres would take Luis Robert Jr. if the White Sox included a portion of his remaining salary, something the team has indicated a willingness to do. But even then, the White Sox could not count on getting much of a return. So the classic flyer deal potentially for A.J. Preller, right? You're buying low on a player that a couple of years ago, now this is an outlier year now, had that unbelievably gaudy year with, what was it, 40-plus home runs from Robert? 38 home runs. So he's had a miserable year. The White Sox might take on some of his salary. The White Sox might not get much of a return. Would Preller be interested in a project? This is not just about 2025. They would have him under control beyond 2025 as well.
It's the ultimate buy low situation.
Yep.
With him. But there would need to be more. Like, it just can't be Luis Robert Jr.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go get more. If they got, like, dream scenario would be Sean Murphy, Adolis Garcia, throw in Luis Robert Jr. in there. You add Luis Robert Jr., you add Adolis Garcia, and you add Sean Murphy at the deadline. Is that enough for you? 3 bats, position of need at catcher, a DH position or outfield position, move Gavin Sheets back to his DH role, and then you have a Luis Robert Jr., being put in situations where he would hopefully succeed. He's not playing every day, and whoever's not playing is on your bench as a bat that you desperately need.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be perceived as a very good deadline for A.J. Preller.
Can he do that, though? I don't know.
The $1 million question, and the reason it's a money question is, A, what kind of money do they have? And that's where the White Sox taking on Robert's salary is going to play potentially a critical role. And then, B, what kind of equity does he have in his system? And it sounds like maybe you can get Robert for something that's affordable, but I don't know about a player of the caliber of like a Sean Murphy or a player of the caliber, for example, of Jarren Duran that we've spent weeks on. It was AJ Cassavell today with our former colleague and friend. She's not a former friend, our friend, Marty Caswell.
On Marty Time TV. Check it out.
That AJ Cassavell said he would be shocked. His word is shocked if they didn't add 2 hitters. Not surprised or, I'm confident that he would be shocked if the Padres didn't add multiple bats at the deadline. And if you are adding multiple bats, you are adding an offensive-minded catcher, because I just don't see you adding multiple bats and neither of them addressing the catcher situation. So I think a catcher's coming. I think an outfielder is coming, and I'm with you. I think Gavin Sheets is better suited to play DH.
Other than Sean Murphy, who's the other catcher out there that's an offensive-minded catcher.
There was a name
available.
There was the name thrown out from the A's, Langoliers.
Okay.
I don't know what his year looks like right now.
Would you try for an Adley Rutschman from
absolutely.
Baltimore?
He's had a down year.
Orioles are bad. They might look to rebuild in a sense, but
I mean, look at the Langoliers, 12 home runs, an OPS over 700. That's what you're looking for. You're not looking for the best offensive hitting catcher in baseball history. You're not going to find Mike Piazza in his prime.
Uh-huh.
But if you go from 580 OPS guys to 720
Oh,
OPS guys, that's a world of difference. They're combining to hit their catchers with men in scoring position. We've done the math, 100. You go from that and bump it to 250. I mean, it could make a world of difference.
They've been a huge anchor to this club in a lot of ways, with runners in scoring position, offensively, killing rallies, not being able to turn over the lineup.
Right.
Like, they're just a huge problem for this team. I don't think everything would be automatically fixed.
No, not automatically.
But it would help. And it would help point them in the right direction of fully almost fixing things to where this offense isn't as inept as it is, or has been over the last 2 months.
I mean, they're making moves and pinch hitting in the 5th inning, and they're using their magic Trenton Brooks off the bench. It was no
disrespect.
It's not. Here's the thing. And honestly, if you're Mike Schillen, and he's made these comments publicly within the last 10 days, he's like, I got to use the players that are available to me on my roster. He has no other option other than to do that. But when your bench is your backup catcher and it's a Jose Iglesias having a down year and it's a Trenton Brooks,
right.
I mean, you have to upgrade. There's no choice here. It's not like, hey, try to upgrade, and if you can't, you can't. No, they have to upgrade. They have to add multiple bats.
Yep, I think they're going to add multiple bats. I don't think whatever they do on this road trip will matter for the trade deadline unless they go 1-9 out the break. Then it might be a scenario where AJ pulls back a little bit. Maybe he does make just one move, like, hey, let's just get Luis Roberts, see if we can maybe fix him. We have him here for longer than a year, and if we fix him, then that's great. But I'm not going to try to go all out for this season for these guys if this is what the team's going to be. So
it would take what you just said, 2-8, 1-9.
Yeah.
You go 3-7 or 4-6. It's not ideal, but you're still very much.
It's not great.
but they got to get out of the gates. And I'm not saying they need to go 8-1 or 9-1 like they did last year, but they got to play 500 baseball on this road trip to feel good about them. You want to see them play 500
at worst
baseball
4-6
10 games.
At worst 4-6, 5-5. I would take that right now. I would take a 5-5 road trip. Then you come home, that 3-game series against the Mets right before the trade deadline.
Yep.
You take 2 or 3 there, easier said than done.
You're 10 games over 500.
10 games over 500, or 9, excuse me. You're 9 games over 500 at the trade deadline. And last year, the trade deadline, I believe they were 7.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe they were more. Maybe they're 8 or 9 over, because I know they went 8-2 on that 10-game road trip. And then they swept the Dodgers with that quick 2-game series.
So they were like 10
at
up.
home. Yeah, they were 10
like
up.
10 up. They'd be the same.
Okay. So there you go.
All right. There's the plan.
Second half Schilt. We'll see if it works.
I mean,
again.
The second half has begun for the Padres, but yeah, the true second half after the All-Star break. We'll see if Preller can make upgrades in the coming weeks. We'll switch back to what we're doing here. Mountain West Media Days here in Las Vegas. Chris Vannini from The Athletic will join us on the other side. The latest here from Vegas, as again, it's been a very unique couple of days in Las Vegas with 5 teams departing for the Pac-12 next year. Chris Vannini from The Athletic will join us. Sean Lewis, San Diego State's head coach, will join us at 3:30. Don't go anywhere. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update is brought to you by Staples. We'll start with SDFC last night. They lost 1-0 at home to Toronto. Next up, they'll take on Vancouver this Saturday at Snapdragon Stadium, 7:30 kickoff time. Our pregame starts at 7 p.m. right here on San Diego Sports 760. And the Padres second half gets underway tomorrow afternoon in Washington. Dylan Cease will start the second half for the Padres. In breaking NBA news, according to Shams, Damian Lillard is finalizing a 3-year, $42 million contract to return to the Portland Trailblazers. And this update's been brought to you by Staples.
West Media Days continue here from the Circa in Las Vegas, and great to connect with Chris Vannini from The Athletic, who's been with us before. I think we connected actually with Chris last year here in Las Vegas. He's been with us before on Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. I feel like talking season always has its storylines right prior to a season, but this is really unique. We've seen realignment, but the realignment that's playing out specifically in the West between the Mountain West and the Pac-12, you've been covering it. How unique is this from your seat? 5 of these programs departing within 1 year, litigation, mediation. What's it been like to cover?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this in a couple of leagues over the past couple of years. Teams on their way out, but not out yet, and it makes for an awkward transition in between period. And that's what the Mountain West and Pac-12 are going to. The timing of it all, the mediation ending a day before media days makes for some good fodder and conversations with everybody here about kind of where they feel about or how they feel about that. And I'm going to write a story about that coming out of this. But I can tell you that the people who are sticking in the Mountain West, who are not going to the Pac-12, feel good about the future of that conference and the NULA conference in 26 and beyond. So it's kind of a spot where you kind of have the two, everybody's cordial with each other, but you clearly kind of have two sides, and both sides to this point feel good about where they're at, which would also explain why mediation didn't get settled.
I feel like this might be a dumb question because the state of college football and college athletics, it's always expansion. But do you feel like the Pac-12 is done expanding as of right now?
As of right now, yes. I mean, they need to finish the television deal, and that's the Mountain West is dealing with the same thing. They don't want to look at it at anybody else until you get to that, because the TV deal is the most important thing for both of these leagues, both of which have probably gone on a bit longer than either of them wanted to. But when you've kind of split yourself in half, that ends up happening. So, affiliate members for the Pac-12 in some sports like baseball or something like that could certainly be down the road. But from the people I've talked to, they're focused on finishing up that television deal now that you have the 8 full members with Texas State, and then going on from there. But also the mediation was part of that too, the settlement, because that's a lot of money that nobody quite knows yet if they're going to owe or how much they're going to owe or when they're going to owe.
Chris Vannini from The Athletic with us right now. Jon and Jim, Mountain West Media Days at the Circa. I guess 30,000-foot view, because you've covered Group of 5 football for a long time. Is there room for 2 Western leagues that aren't quote-unquote power leagues to thrive? I know it's kind of a subjective general statement, but do you think they both can have their level of successes from TV deals, wins on field, retainment of talent? Can that happen in the West between these 2 leagues?
Yes, but I think everybody's waiting to see what happens in 5 years anyway. So if you were to tell me, will the Pac-12 and Mountain West both be around together 10 years from now? I have no idea. I don't think they have no idea. Everybody's kind of trying to prepare themselves for the next round of whatever it's going to be, which is in 4 or 5 years, 6 years, when the Big Ten deal comes up, when the SEC deal comes up, Big 12 as well. That's when that's when the next stuff is going to happen. But I've written, and Pac-12 people didn't like it, but I wrote last year that I thought they should have just merged. Like, I think a lot of people on the outside who aren't totally paying close attention to the Mountain West and Pac-12 battles are saying, why didn't they just add them all? You wouldn't have had this court stuff. You'd have one singular focused West Coast league. But the Pac-12 people still, the schools on their way out, still feel that they made the right call, still feel like they're going to be with more like-minded institutions investing at a higher level. It's just probably going to be a smaller conference than anybody wanted. And when you only have 8-9 members, it kind of puts you in a little bit of a tough spot for scheduling, for all kinds of things. But now that the Mountain West is backfilled and everything, it doesn't seem like any sort of merger is possible. And I don't think the Pac-12 people want to do it anyway.
What do you think? I mean, you talked about your thoughts on the Pac-12, but expanding on the power of that conference with the teams that are in it now. What do you make of all the schools that are in it, going forward next year?
Going to be a very good football conference. Going to be a very good basketball conference. Maybe the best non-power basketball conference. Will be right there competing for the playoff spot for the group of 5 moving forward, whatever the playoff looks like. We're not exactly sure, but I don't think the American will be going away either. I think they have plenty of good programs that will be right there in that mix. So I think most years you'll probably have the Pac and the American, most likely one of those two determining the playoff spot. Just like now, it's currently the American and the Mountain West.
Yeah,
for most years,
right.
are the ones kind of battling for that one spot. So I would imagine it'll be pretty similar.
Chris Vannini, The Athletic, with us right now on Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. You reported yesterday that CBS will be involved in the next Mountain West TV deal. We know that the Pac-12 has announced formally that CBS will be involved in their upcoming TV deal. Do you have any thoughts on how it will all be put together? Should we expect more midweek football games when it comes to the Mountain West, or how creative can they get? Because it seems like there's only so many TV slots when it comes to a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, and that's yet to be seen, at least from what I've heard so far. Neither TV deal is done, so we don't know what the remaining partners will be. There's a chance there's a lot more overlap in the remaining partners too. I think CBS is trying to get back into sports more. They've got Big Ten, they've got Conference USA, the MAC, and they're opting in for both West Coast conferences, and so they're going to make room whatever way you can. How much is going to be on CBS yet to be seen, at least as far as I know, but as of right now, most of it is CBS Sports Network with some of it on the main CBS, and I imagine it would probably be pretty similar. Now the time slots and the days, we'll see, but both these conferences are not as big as the current Mountain West. So there is not that much more you're really adding.
On the field, Sean Lewis, year 2, expectations coming off a 3-9 season for him.
I was just talking to him earlier. I'm sure you guys did too, but I know he feels a lot better just kind of about the basic foundation. Yeah. I know, they had 8-9 offensive linemen last year. Like you can't do anything with that. Now they're up to much better numbers. Feels good about the quarterback situation. And as with him, it's usually year 2 when things kind of start to click with people who have been around. Now you have a lot more turnover now with the roster and everything compared to what it used to be, but it's not new to a lot of these people. And so I would expect you got to get back to a bowl game, maybe surprise some people and get into conference championship contention. But obviously the expectations at San Diego State are really high, and year 2, you got to be better, and I think they will be.
I've asked you before. We've asked you before, and you've been asked about San Diego State kind of in the ecosystem. You've heard people refer to SDSU as like a sleeping giant when it comes to football before, their proximity being in Southern California. It's impossible to know what happens in 5 years, whether there's super leagues or breakaways or what transpires. Is there a world in the next, handful of years to a decade, though, where programs like a Boise State or San Diego State are quote unquote elevated or part of this pie? If there is a breakaway, is there going to be room for programs like an Oregon State or a Washington State or a Boise State or a San Diego State? Or has that line already been drawn in the sand, even though we haven't gotten to that point yet?
It's certainly possible. I don't even think the people in charge know what the future is going to be because everything is built around television, and television is changing dramatically. We don't know what it's going to look like in 5 years. Is Apple going to be involved or are they not? Apple's going to go buy the F1 rights. How big or small is ESPN going to be? Is there more or less money to throw around? Is private equity going to jump in? And, they've pitched their Super League with all of FBS essentially and trying to create that and promotion and relegation. Like they've made that pitch as well. It's just going to come down to what the most valuable thing is. And we don't know what that's going to be. Like Greg Sankey doesn't know what it's going to be. Tony Petitti doesn't know what it's going to be because it's changing every couple of months. Who would have imagined? Apple swings in to likely get the F1 rights at a much higher price from ESPN, which people didn't think was going to happen. And suddenly it did. So you never really know who's going to emerge, but it all comes down to your television deal and how much money and how much you can spread that around. That's what these things always come down to.
last year, before the new college football game came out, you played it. You wrote a whole thing about it. This year, the 26 game have you played it yet? And how different is it from the first version of what they had last year, bringing that game back?
Yeah, I have it. I've played it. It's out now. It's pretty similar, but better in pretty much every aspect. And so I kind of wrote my review of, is it worth the upgrade? And it kind of depends what you like to do.
Yeah.
If you're just Dynasty mode by yourself, probably don't need to upgrade. But if you're online playing, you got to upgrade. Obviously, you got to do that. If you like Road to Glory is much more expansive now. You can do the high school mode, which I found actually to be a lot of fun.
Oh, really? Okay.
So it kind of depends what you use the game for. But they fixed a lot of the major. There were a couple of major holes that everybody knew was in the first game, and they have filled those. And it just kind of comes down to preference on how you like to play the game.
Didn't you? I don't play, but I know the reporting is there's head coaches now in the game, right? Does that include outside of the power? Like, are Mount West coaches in the game? Is Sean Lewis and Dan Mullen and everyone else in the game as well?
Yeah, it's all the real FBS head coaches.
So
Now, not everybody is in it. There are a handful who aren't for various reasons. Jason Eck from New Mexico here isn't in it, but that's because he never got the email to sign up to be in it. It was sent to the wrong person who doesn't work at New Mexico anymore. Like that. So New Mexico has since signed on, so he will be in like the next update to the game, in a couple weeks or whatever they do. But like Deion Sanders is not in the game. Not a surprise. Bill Belichick is not.
Sure.
He didn't do Madden either.
Yeah.
Belichick did. So that's not a surprise. There were a couple like Mario Cristobal is a surprise, but pretty much all the real head coaches and the coordinators, the offensive and defensive coordinators, all in the game.
Oh, that's sweet.
That's really cool. All right, final one before you go. Boise or the field to represent the group of 5 in the college football playoff?
I'm going to say the field because it usually doesn't play out the way we expect going into every season. Now, I do think Boise is the most talented team. I don't think they're going to miss not having Ashton Genty because I think Sire Gaines is going to be a really, really good running back, and I think Malik Sherrod is a good running back. I think Maddox Madsen is probably the best quarterback in the league, and the defense brings a ton back. So, it's all on paper for it to happen, but they got to go to USF. They got App State. They got to go to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a tricky schedule. They could do it. I think it's a really talented program, but history has said the team we think is going to be the team that does it often is not the team that ends up there at the end.
I didn't think I would hear that. Team's not going to really miss Ashton Genty that much. Second in Heisman voting. That's crazy.
It's the Moneyball Brad Pitt meme where it's like we're going to replace him in the aggregate, and they really are.
Yeah.
Sire Gaines was averaging 9 yards a carry before he got hurt last year.
That's crazy.
He was a freshman.
Yeah.
And Boise has always had elite running backs.
Sure.
Every 3 years, they get a new guy drafted. So, they're going to have another guy.
Yeah. We'll see. San Diego State will host Boise State actually in the middle of November here in 2025. Chris, great reporting and writing in The Athletic for our listeners. If you're a San Diego State fan, pick up a subscription a lot on the group of now 6 with Chris Vannini leading the way. So, Chris, we appreciate you taking time for us in San Diego.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Chris Vannini from The Athletic will react on the other side. Sean Lewis at 3:30. It's Jon and Jim. All right, back at Mountain West Football Media Days circa in Las Vegas. Sean Lewis is now going to join us at 3 p.m. So we're going to have the head coach of the Aztecs in about 10 minutes. Looking forward to catching up with Sean, entering year 2 on the Mesa. We just caught up with Chris Vannini from The Athletic. We are here until 6 p.m. We've got those Comic-Con badges to give away as well the next time you hear the Superman theme song.
And if you're watching us on YouTube and you're wondering, where's Chris Vannini in the
don't
shot?
blame me. Okay, blame me.
I'm blaming you.
What happened?
So our setup here is John has his camera. I got my camera. His camera's on the guest. My camera's on us.
Right.
Behind the scenes stuff, right?
Yeah.
So he's plugging in his camera. It's not working. And you've had problems with your camera.
I have.
Okay. So Chris, great interview. Had him on. Sits right across from us.
Couldn't see him.
Couldn't see him if you're watching us on YouTube. Obviously, if on radio, who cares?
Right.
But on YouTube, couldn't see him.
Right.
And at the break, I go, what's wrong with your camera? He's like, John's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I look on your computer. You don't even have the camera on.
Well,
And
I
you don't
didn't
even-
have the camera on. That's correct.
And then you don't even have, you're not
The
even
software.
the software
Yeah.
up.
Right.
So the reason
That's
why,
fine. I'll take the L.
the reason why I couldn't see Chris Vannini on YouTube was
Because of me.
John.
I
Yeah.
am not. Here's the thing. What makes Jon and Jim work is you and I are different. We fill different roles. We yin and yang. But when it comes to like social media or technology, if Jim didn't exist, if Jim was, let's say, hit by
Please don't say
a
that.
meteor,
A meteor.
yeah.
Well,
Why? What's wrong with being hit by a meteor?
Because then I think a lot other people would be gone as well.
Exactly. So if you were hit by a meteor, but if I
Okay.
survived the meteor
I
strike,
was being hit by a
Um,
meteor.
there's going to be no social.
No,
Okay. So the show may end.
probably yes.
Actually, if Jim gets hit by a meteor, you're right. The show probably does.
If I get hit by a meteor, everything ends.
We're screwed. But you do a nice job, again, with social media. And if you're not following us on social media, find us at Jon and Jim, JONANDJIM. We're on Instagram and Twitter. So find us
X.
there. And X.
Whatever it's called.
Real quick, because Sean Lewis is going to join us coming up in a few minutes. And we talked about the Padres at the trade deadline. I did see this story, and I think it kind of resonates that, we've been talking about like the Major League Baseball All-Star Game and their viewership, and people were excited. The WNBA All-Star Game is in Indianapolis. They have the star of stars on the Indiana Fever, right?
Yep.
Obviously, Caitlin Clark. And Caitlin Clark announcing today via statement sent out by the Fever. I mean, this is a massive story, in my opinion. Caitlin Clark will not participate in either the three-point contest or the game. She's dealing with an injury. She's been off and on the court this year because of injury. I mean, what impact does that have? I can't equate Caitlin Clark. It's like the Tiger Woods effect. If Tiger didn't play in his prime at a golf tournament, what does that mean for golf?
Mm-hmm.
You could even say it goes further with Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. It's in Indiana. You have no Caitlin Clark. You probably would have had a record TV viewership of like 4 or 5 million people. Who's watching now with Caitlin Clark on the sidelines? What a bad break.
Oh, dude, it's a disaster. It's a absolute disaster for the WNBA. If you are the commissioner of that sport, I'm sorry, I don't
I'm
know
not sure who it is.
I don't know
Yeah,
who that is.
yeah.
I mean, you're sitting there in your office and you just have your hand in
Like,
your,
are you
your head in your
serious?
hand. You're like, are you kidding me right now? Because they set this whole thing up in Indy because of Caitlin Clark.
Yep. Her second year, she's going to thrive on the floor.
Yeah.
Take advantage of the Caitlin effect.
Now, Colin had a good take about
Okay.
Caitlin Clark yesterday, comparing her to Michael Jordan in year 2, where Michael Jordan burst on the scene as a rookie and it was like, whoa, this guy is incredible, right? Something that the NBA has never seen before. And then in year 2, what happens? He gets hurt because of how he's being played, the physicality. Now, back in the 80s, the physicality was, I mean, you could literally punch somebody and it's a common foul. But still, the physicality that WNBA players are showing towards Caitlin Clark because of their jealousy is showing at an all-time clip to where the referees are not policing it like they need to police it. I'm not saying preferential treatment, but I mean, come on. Some of these things that are happening to Caitlin Clark, it's like, what? And so I feel like the WNBA, it's unfortunate that she's injured, but they are to blame a little bit for this as well, I believe, especially the referees for how, she's been played this year. And she even, her brother actually went on social media and said, don't get this twisted, blame the refs for this one because of how physical these players are playing against Caitlin, and they're getting away with it. The refs aren't calling the fouls, and so they're getting away with it. And because of that, that these players and these women are going to continue to do what they've been doing against Caitlin Clark, and it's causing these injuries. And Like she is the golden goose of your league. Without her, your league is nothing.
Yeah, you can't have her miss time. I completely agree with that. But let me ask you this: like this comp that you just talked about, and I've seen it before. This Colin Cowherd. Hey, this is Michael Jordan in year 2, and hey, by the way, this is Michael Jordan in the women's game. Here's my question. I think this is a fair question. Is Caitlin Clark the player and the talent in the women's game that Michael Jordan? I mean, we're talking about, right, the star of stars, by far the best player in your sport. Or is it, yeah, she's a great player, but the hype that surrounds her as well is really what elevates her? As in, is she leading the WNBA in scoring? Is she leading them in assists? Is she their best three-point? Like, is her ceiling in the women's game the Michael Jordan ceiling in the men's game? Or is that too high of a ceiling and unfair? Is she going to be that player, 5-6 titles, scoring titles, assist titles, best three-point shooter? Like, is she going to be all that in her career, or is she just going to be a great player with unbelievable hype and unbelievable everything, marketability around her?
I think it'd be unfair to say that she's not going to be that. Like, she has a chance, obviously. This is definitely a down year for her, for sure. She's averaging only 16.5 points, 8.5 assists this season. Not second in the WNBA.
Yeah, it's good.
But the one thing is, she can't shoot on the road if her life depended on it.
Yeah.
I mean, she's like
a bad shooter.
She's awful on the road.
Yep.
So that has to change. And she'll get better.
Definitely.
What do you think, she's going to get worse? Like,
I think she'll get better.
Like, in credit to Angela Reese, she's gotten better this year. You know, she started off and it was like, hey, you might want to learn how to play basketball, because if you don't learn how to play basketball, this is going to end bad for you. And she's gotten a lot better this year, to her credit. You know, I've dogged her for, being really bad to start the season, but as I said, to her credit, she has really improved over the course of this year. They aren't fake stats. Like, she's doing really well. So Caitlin, she's going to improve. I mean, in a down year, if she's averaging 17, 5, and 9.
No, is a great player, but just
right?
I guess my point is this, and you're right, it's too early to say it, and I don't know what Michael Jordan's numbers looked like even in his first or second year in terms of where he was in scoring. Like, he averaged 28.2 points per game his first year, which is amazing.
And he went down to 22.
But he went down to 22, and then he set 37 points per game as a third-year player. But my point is, in the WNBA, she doesn't qualify. She'd be 16th in scoring this year
That's
in the WNBA, which, again, is good, but it's not. Michael Jordan, by year 3, was leading the NBA in scoring by like a 10-point margin. I just wonder if it's fair to compare anyone, women or men, to Michael Jordan and what he did, like, throughout the course of his career.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll be that player.
Maybe
she'll, but certainly the hype that surrounds her and the visibility and the marketing and the viewership, there's no way to argue it. I mean, it's through the roof with Caitlin Clark. All right, Sean Lewis will join us on the other side. San Diego State's second-year head coach, live from Circa in Las Vegas, Mountain West Football Media Days. The head coach of the Aztecs joining us live from Vegas. Coming up next, this is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app.
Update is brought to you by Staples Stores. We'll start with SDFC last night losing 1-0 to Toronto. Next up, they'll take on Vancouver this Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium. 7:30 kickoff time. Our pregame coverage starts at 7 p.m. right here on San Diego Sports 760. Padres, their second half gets underway tomorrow afternoon in Washington. Dylan Cease will start the second half for the Padres, and Shams is reporting that Damian Lillard is returning to the Portland Trailblazers on a 3-year deal. How many times have we all said that was easy? Well, the Staples Easy button is back, and it's got everyone saying it again for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos, plus quality products delivered next day to over 98% of U.S. Staples. That was easy.
All right, hour 2, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live from days, and our pleasure to be joined by the second-year head coach of the Aztecs, Sean Lewis, with us live right now from Las Vegas, Nevada. You may look better than the new uniforms.
I don't know about that.
Those
new uniforms are sharp.
I watched
Hey, this is
a good look
from our guys up at Aztec Shop up in La Jolla.
Awesome.
Two proud Aztec alums. You know,
Do you got anything special inside?
I don't have
Okay.
anything. No, we're. There might be some custom pieces that we're working through,
Right.
but this was, hey, need to do this right going forward. And
Looking good.
again, Aztec Nation's everywhere, and the guys up there, Bill and Andy White took care of me, hooked me up, and my guy Michael, who got all the talent right. So appreciate it.
Very cool. Take us behind the scenes of the uniform reveal, because that's the type of stuff when you talk about a program. I mean, in your job, you're thinking X's and O's, but there's a lot more that goes into it. I mean, there's so much that goes into it. Fans are excited about what you've done with the uniforms. What goes into that? The first real touch-ups for the Aztecs in years now.
Yeah, I mean, we thought about how we wanted to modernize it, right? Obviously, it's just a really cool time for us as we get to have a historic season here in the last year in the Mountain West, and as we move forward into the Pac-12, and just wanted to, update and modernize the look, right? Like, to me, we have the most beautiful helmet in all of college football, so we weren't going to touch that. Just wanted to clean up the uniform a little bit. Again, between the helmet and our logo, the SD with the Aztec spear going through it, I think is one of the most unique and recognizable logos that there is. And so to me, when you have that and you have a brand of, our style of play and what we're going to put on the field this fall, but that's going to stand by itself. And so we just cleaned up some of the writing, took the SDSU, San Diego State script off of it, and enlarged the letters or the numbers a little bit to it all, and cleaned up, streamlined it a little bit. And then, hopefully as we continue to move forward, we'll be able to, splash a red, maybe a red set as we go. And, maybe some other things that we can roll out some alternatives as we go. Cause again, it's all part of it, right? It's all part of the brand of, San Diego State football that we are building. And it's a big piece, and obviously creating excitement here in July as we get ready for this great season. And then obviously with recruiting as well, jerseys matter, right, wrong, or indifferent.
Yeah,
jerseys matter. And, hey, look good, feel good, play good, and away we go.
How did you show the team the new jerseys, and what was their initial reaction?
Yeah, I mean, so once Ross and Chris, were a part of the pre-production process, and again, kudos to Justin and the social media team, absolutely killed it with the content drop that they did. The boys knew that they were back there, right? And so they got their hands on it. They got a chance to see it. We didn't do a huge reveal with the guys, but they obviously are aware. They're excited. There's been a real buzz. We sat as a leadership committee, last Friday it was, to kind of map out, okay, hey, now accessories and the season, and kind of build all that out. Again, it's something that's important to the guys. They get to take ownership of what we're going to wear and what it's going to look like, and hey, if that helps them play better, so be it. Let's go do it.
No doubt about it. Sean Lewis is with us. We will get to football, but I want to transition actually to the video game, because you're a gamer. I remember last year we were playing
very loosely.
Well, and your son certainly is, right?
Yeah,
your son's
absolutely.
into it.
Yep.
And now we've got the 26th version of the EA Sports game. Coaches are in the game, right? So I don't even know this. I don't play video games, really.
Yeah.
Is Sean Lewis in the game?
I am. So it's kind of wild, right? Like, game gets released, son has it. Hey, Dad, can I play? Absolutely. That's why we got it. Hop on. And so I'm like unloading the dishwasher, being dad, right? Just taking care of things at home. And he's in the other room playing the game, and he comes sprinting in. He's like, Dad, it actually looks like you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I loosely remember, Jamie came and was like, hey, if you want to be in the video game, sign this. And it was in the middle of the season. So I'm like, okay, sure. sounds
Sure.
good, whatever, right? I should probably look at the things I read a little bit more closely before I sign them, right? But so yeah, I go in the other room, and sure enough, like my son's got the avatar or whatever pulled up on it, and yeah, I mean it's they didn't do me dirty, which was good. I mean I've seen some of the other ones that have kind of gone semi-viral or whatever it is. I'm like, man, I know that coach. He don't look like that. You know,
You're like, who is that guy?
I mean, why'd you do that to him? So no, they did a good job with it. You know, we got to get him to make Gabe a left-footed kicker. He's still a right-footed kicker in the game.
Oh wow!
So we gotta make that patch if we would. Hey, shout out EA Sports, like great job. But if we can get that rectified, he's a preseason special teams player of the year. We should probably get him kicking with the right foot.
He's like, oh, by the way, coach, I'm actually a right-footed kicker. Yeah. I just like to kick left foot with.
Right,
with
I'm
you
even
guys.
better with the other legs.
There we go. Getting onto the field, we talked to Trey White yesterday. We obviously know huge for him to return for you guys.
Right.
He is going to be a guy going forward next year that every opposing team will be circling to make sure that they stop him.
Absolutely.
How does that affect the rest of your defensive line and the challenge that you are now going to present to Trey to make sure that you overcome those obstacles next year going forward, because he is going to be the guy that everyone's looking at?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a tremendous opportunity in front of him, right? Like as we sat here a year ago, he was making that transition from linebacker to edge. We thought that was going to be a good move for him, and certainly it was. He's had a tremendous season, undeniable production. Very, very fortunate that he comes from a great family, has high character. We retained and kept him on the Mesa, and so now the opportunity is, okay, hey, now that you know who you are and this is a great fit for you, he's had all off season. He's had the full, breadth of experience at that position to really refine his craft and add more tricks and more techniques to his repertoire to be able to disrupt the game. And Trey's one of those guys, that's really he changes the math, right? Like the rules only let you play with 11, but having Trey and all the attention that he warrants, whether it's a tight end chipping him, a tailback chipping him, the whole O-line sliding his way, well, now it's like you're playing with 12 because you have to dual account for Trey, because if you leave him one-on-one, he's going to win majority of those battles, right? And so now that creates opportunities up front for the remainder of the defensive line to go get after it. Like those one-on-ones are now an opportunity for Brady Nasser, right? For Orion Henderson, for a Niles King to go get it, right? And to win those one-on-one battles. And ultimately that's what it's about, right? Like how can you change the math defensively because you have two lockdown corners like Chris Johnson and Bryce Phillips, right? To where, hey, now we can flood a zone or we can roll coverage or add an extra hat to the box because we know, hey, our one's better than your one over there, right? It's the same thing again with Trey. He changes the math up front. He allows us to play, in a different manner. And he knows, okay, hey, like you want to go play on Sundays like he does, right? Like go win, right? Like go do it, win the expectations on you. And the beautiful thing about Trey, right, is that no one's standards or no one's expectations are going to be any greater than his own, right? Sure. So all this preseason hype and, who he is, like, heck yeah, that's why we work so hard. Like, absolutely. Pressure's a privilege. Like, go do it now.
No doubt. And that's how he's looking at it heading into the year. Sean Lewis with us right now on San Diego Sports 760. I want to go back to the winter when you're looking at your quarterback room and how you want to move forward. And you identify Jaden Denigal, who played at Michigan and played for Jim Harbaugh, won a national championship. You bring in Bert Emanuel Jr., an incredible athlete that we saw last year briefly at Central Michigan when you guys were there against the Chippewas. What was it that you were looking for? And what was it about those two players that emerged that allowed you to bring them in and feel good about where you are in that room?
Yeah, we wanted guys with experience, right? And experience comes in a lot of different ways, whether that's playing experience or experience within a championship culture. And we wanted guys that were physically developed and ready to play, right? Like bigger stature guys, so that the other guys in the room could continue to grow and continue to develop. And that if we ever get in a position again to where a true freshman can play, then hey, well, unequivocally, that true freshman is the best player in a older, more mature, deeper room, right? And so by identifying those two guys, obviously both of them being upperclassmen, having had game experience, Jaden coming from championship culture under Coach Harbaugh, backing up J.J. McCarthy and having real game reps in that season, right? And then Bert, obviously with all his experiences that he has had and the number of games that he started, they both have a skill set when we look at the quarterback position, right, with all their traits. They're able to do everything above the line, which is awesome. It's going to create a good back and forth, and it has been a great back and forth, for those two guys to really push and challenge and compete with one another. And it has made the whole collective offensive unit, rise to their level of work and to match their energy and their intensity each and every single day as we go out. Jaden probably spins it a little bit better than Bert does, but Bert runs a little bit better than Jaden does, right? So they have again, all these traits that we covet are above the line, but then there's some outliers that either one does a little bit better than the other from a physical standpoint. So it's our job, again, as we get into camp here and report in 12 days, we'll be on the grass getting after it in 13 to build out this offense, to have an identity that highlights both their skills and takes advantage of all their playmaking abilities, along with all the other weapons that we have as well. But feel really confident with where the room is at right now. Really happy for Danny and the opportunity that he did and created for himself through his work and the development of our staff to do that. Like that's awesome. Good for him. But really, really excited about where our room is, not only with the where I think the ceiling is of that room. It's as high as it's ever been. And then also the depth of talent that we have in that room as well, to utilize both those play callers.
Obviously, last year didn't go the way that everybody wanted it to go.
Sure.
For you, what did you learn about yourself specifically that you might not have known being the head coach of the team? And what things do you want to work on going forward to become a better head coach?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was anything new or earth-shattering that I hadn't learned about myself, because I had been through some rough seasons in the past, so to speak, right? Like I've been a part of programs that were 1-11. Our first year at Kent State, we were 2-10, right? Like I think the wisdom that we all know and understand is that if you're going to build something valuable and worthwhile, it's going to be increasingly challenging. It's going to require, a lot of time on task, right, for it to be meaningful. And so, yeah, hey, adversity hit, right? And, we had 3 games that we lost by a total of 9 points that, in those moments when adversity hit, whether it was those individual games or it was the back half of the season, right? Like our response has to be better, right? The response quality to whether it's good or bad has to be better as we go forward. And so we were very intentional, right, about retaining the players so that we could have the continuity and consistency in our locker room. But then as we rebuilt this team, it's year 2 of what we are building in the grand scheme at a 30,000-foot level. But this 2025 team will be one of one, and it's year 1 for them. So it's like, okay, how do we create a team better than we did last year? And I think what's really critically important, more so now than ever, that was accentuated last year, is the importance of connection, the importance of not just having a collection of individuals, but a team that's willing to compete and sacrifice and be disciplined for one another. And so we've been very intentional about that since we've been back in January, from instilling pride in the program, earning the right to wear the colors, getting to know each other better on a deeper, more meaningful level, so that, again, when good or bad things happen, there's levels to it. And whatever those levels are, good or bad, that we're able to refocus, we're able to respond, and we're able to get back to doing things the way that they need to be done sooner rather than later.
And, Trey White was on with us during the golf event, and he said something that really stuck out to me, that not everybody was on the same page last year.
Sure.
And there were some people on the team that might have been doing their own thing.
Sure.
So going into this year, do you feel right now that you're at a better place to make sure that those things do not happen this upcoming season?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's the dichotomy of the team that we get to steward and that we get to lead, right? Like, I want you to be you. Like, all of our unique styles are different and unique, right? Like, we got 105 guys in the locker room, got another 50 staff members, right? Like, each individual is important, and I want you to be you. But you being you can't be greater than us.
Yeah.
That can't be more important than us in the team, right? And that's the balance that we get to weave, right? And that's the art of coaching that, like, yeah, hey, there were some guys that were around that need to be around because we need to feel the team. And now we've had time to do the things that we need to do. And we've, had the community done a great job stepping up, competing with us, come to Snapdragon. Like, thank you to the fans that have shown up and, have re-upped their season tickets and have been a part of what we're building and, been believers in us from the jump. And all those things have allowed us now, like, okay, hey, thanks for everything, but you and your individual agenda is clearly more important than the team. And that's not going to work here. And I'm not saying that's good or bad, your beliefs one way or the other. That's fine. I'm just speaking factually as the steward and the one responsible for bringing a championship program and helping young men change their lives at San Diego State University. Like, you being you can never be more important than us as a team. So you can go be you somewhere else, and we're going to go in a different direction with us, right, to where I know where it's going to go. And, again, like, have worked this process, have done this process in the past. And, again, eager and excited to continue to get back into training camp and to get out of this suit and put the whistle back around my neck,
for sure,
right, and go to that work in between the white lines to put that product on the field.
Sean, final one for me, and I asked Jamie to do the research. In today's football, it's so rare to return 9, 10, 11 starters on any side of a football. I mean, There's so much movement. You could win a national championship and obviously be nowhere near returning 8, 9, 10 players on a side of a football. You may have 11 starters returning on your defense heading in to 2025. What does that mean? I mean, how much of a leg up will that allow you? Does that allow you to hit that ground running on that side of the football heading into the season? What impact does that have?
Yeah, I mean, like it was noticeable from the start of spring ball, right? Like with that retention and that continuity and the consistency, not only of the players but of the staff, right? Like to be able to, promote Coach Ulrich from within. And yeah, there's some things that'll be uniquely different, but the overall structure is the same. Like those guys have gotten out front, if you will, of the pole position, right? And they've been able to handle the installs quicker. They've been able to, do great work together. Like they know one another, right? Like I don't like, it doesn't matter if it's a football, on a football field or, hey, like I navigated Disneyland with the family, for the past few days before we came here. There's 10 of us. Like, we went through some things, right? Like it's an extended family, right? But like, because we love one another, because we know one another, because we know how to communicate with one another, we could navigate all the things that come up. Anyone who's ever been at Disney World with a
lot
group,
comes up,
right? A lot comes up.
Oh yes,
but because you know those people, and because you know that each other loves one another, and you're all in it for the right reasons. Okay, like I can speak truthfully to you, and we're gonna like go forward and have a great day here, right? And then we'll move quicker through whatever adversity that shows up, right? And so by having that, again, like, when you are comfortable with who you are and who you're doing the work with, you do better work. Mm-hmm. So when you got 11 defensive starters that are comfortable with who they are, what we're doing, who they're doing it with, they love where they're doing it, there's going to be better work that's going to get done, right? And so really, really excited about, where they're at defensively, where we're going offensively, the elite job that we're doing with special teams and the new pieces that we've added there as well. And, man, it's an exciting time, right? And it's going to be an exciting fall on the Mesa. And again, thanks for all the fans that have been there from day one, that have been at Snapdragon with us, and looking forward to creating great memories with those same fans and welcoming new fans in as we go. It'll be a blast.
Final one for me, Sean. Play calling. Yeah, buck stops with you, but are you going to be calling plays predominantly for this team next season? How is that process going to work?
Yeah, I'm still going to be heavily involved with it, right? We did some things, obviously, with promoting Matty J to the offensive coordinator role. A lot of that was to help streamline the process that goes in from January through the start of training camp when I get pulled in a lot of different directions and can only do things that the head coach can do. So Matty J's done a great job leading the offensive staff. There's a lot more collaboration that probably goes into play calling duties than anyone at any level cares to admit. So there was multiple people that were involved in the play calling duties a year ago. There will be multiple guys that are involved in the play calling duties as we go forward. Ultimately, hey, when they're really good plays, Matty J called those. When they're really bad plays, that's on me. I understand that. Like, that's the burden of leadership, and I absolutely love that and can't wait to continue to carry that weight on the Mesa for the Aztecs.
Sean, we can't wait for the fall. Stony Brook, that Thursday opener at Snapdragon Stadium. It will be here well before we know it. I know you realize that, but we appreciate you taking time for us here in Las Vegas, and we will catch up again, obviously, throughout the course of the summer.
Yeah, guys, appreciate it. Thank you. Go Aztecs.
All right, Sean Lewis, head coach at San Diego State. Let's react to that. Tim Murray, Vegas Sports and Information Network, friend of the show, is here as well. He'll join us on the other side. This is Jon and Jim. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, Circa Hotel, Mount West Football Media Days. Not just friend of the show, dear friend, Tim Murray, Vegas Sports and Information Network. We go all the way back. How long ago back? 17 years, maybe. In
I was
when did you intern with me in minor leagues?
2009, and I actually was thinking of you about a little over a week ago. I mean, I think about you every day.
Yeah, thank you.
But extra because
I don't even think of John that much.
I was at the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders game.
You texted me,
and they were playing the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs.
Oh, that's why.
And it was an interesting situation because there were more Philly fans in attendance than Yankee fans. So the Yankees, the Rail Riders are a Yankees affiliate.
But they used to be a Phillies affiliate.
And that area is just more Philly fans. It's Pennsylvania, right?
Not
so
New York.
yeah. So that was cool. Was there a little over a week ago? My son got a couple autographs from some Iron Pigs.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's very cool.
And then I was thinking about you also because once again I think about you every day. When you guys come back to town, San Diego State, to play hoops in the NIL tournament.
Yeah, the players era.
Yeah.
You're playing Michigan.
Yeah,
in
that first night.
on the first night,
The
and
Monday
that's a
night.
battle of Carolina League broadcast alums. Got John Schaefer.
Who does it for Michigan?
Brian Bush, the former
I did meet him.
Winston-Salem Dash broadcaster.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, the Dash,
I
yeah.
didn't realize.
Yeah, there you
go. Get an article. I need to.
Jim's
get an
looking at
article.
me. He's like, "What the hell?"
The
are you
Dash.
talking-"
I'm like,
Do you know the
oh, yeah.
Winston-Salem Dash are named the Dash because between Winston and Salem is a dash?
I did not know that.
So the Winston Dash Salem.
There's a
and
lot
then
of
the
great
Dash.
names in minor league baseball. That is not one of them.
It's not one of them. I would agree.
Great
with that.
ballpark though.
I like the Trash Pandas. That's a good one.
Yeah, a lot of the new ones are
That's a good
fantastic.
logo too. I like that one.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
caps we have.
John
so.
Oliver did this whole thing on minor league baseball, which is kind of cool. So
Very cool.
yeah, so there you
Well,
go. That's
like
why I
that.
came on here. Minor league
All
baseball
right, thanks,
update.
Tim.
All right, see you guys.
And
See
the
ya.
other
Thanks,
thing,
Tim.
we're here to talk football, but the other thing when San Diego State plays Michigan in basketball here in the city in November is you've got Brian Dutcher, who would coach for Steve Fisher, obviously in Michigan for a long, long time.
And played for the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm like, wait, what? But you also have Dusty May, who was at FAU
Yeah.
when San Diego State squared off with FAU
Yeah.
in the Final Four. All right, so I want to start with San Diego State from your perspective and just from like the Vegas perspective. You cover it from a betting angle each and every day on Vegas Sports and Information Network. Aztecs a year ago go 3-9.
Mm-hmm.
They have a ton back, but they've had changes, obviously, at quarterback. Their freshman Danny O'Neal out, Jaden Danigal, Burt Emanuel Jr. in. First of all, what is the win total on San Diego State? And what are the
4.5,
expectations here
I
in
think?
Vegas? Yeah, for the Aztecs.
I'm getting it up
Okay,
right now.
you're going to pull that up.
But yeah, I mean, I'll just say this real quickly. You know, Burt Emanuel Jr., if you watch some action, he certainly has some excitability to him,
Yeah.
which is exciting. I can't remember if it was 2 years ago, but he ran for like 200 yards in a game, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's got the athleticism. I think the curiosity is about the throwing capabilities there with him. But, you know, you guys just had Coach Lewis on, and they're certainly a team that is intriguing, but you would look at them as more of the long shot, bottom of the conference type of team. But that said, you never know. I mean, last year when I jumped on with you guys, we were all singing the praises of the hire and curious about what this year will be. So, a team that I think most are expecting not to really contend necessarily for the championship. But right now you're looking at 30-1 to win the conference. So teams with shorter odds, that would be UNLV, obviously Boise State.
Sure.
UNLV, San Jose State, and then Fresno State, which I'm pretty curious about. And then you've also got Colorado State and Air Force. So, yeah, towards the bottom. But, we'll see how this all plays out ultimately. Like, looking around the conference, outside of Boise, I would say most of these teams have some flaws. San Jose State, I think they're fascinating in the sense that they kind of get the schedule lottery handed to them, that they don't play Boise,
no
they don't play
UNLV.
UNLV, they don't play Colorado State. So the poll that just came out was 1, 2, 3, 4. It went Boise, UNLV, San Jose, Colorado State. They don't play 3 of those 4 teams, right? And they can't play themselves. And then they get, I think, you guys on the road, if I remember correctly.
That's right.
So they get the perceived better teams. Air Force, I think, goes to San Jose. They don't have to go to the island to take on Hawaii, which is always kind of weird, right? So, I think San Jose State is the kind of interesting one. But look, I think Boise State is the rightful favorite. And we had pro handicapper Brad Powers on our show yesterday, and he said he rates Boise State 7 points better than every G5 team.
Wow.
So he has them that much better than every team. So he thought that, minus 125 here at Circa was a bargain on Boise State. So we'll see. I mean, they bring back a lot. That's the crazy thing about Boise is that they bring back the most production in the country, in the conference, and they lost Ashton Genty.
Right. Yeah.
Like, that's pretty wild to
the
think
sixth
about.
overall pick in the draft. Second runner-up in the Heisman. Yeah.
You're a G5 program, and you bring back, according to Bill Conley and SP Plus, the most production of any team in the Mountain West. They bring back the most.
Well, we had Chris Vannini on earlier, and he said that he feels like it's an upgrade at running back position for them this year.
Well, or that he does
not an upgrade.
not to miss a beat.
Excuse me. Not to miss a beat.
Yeah, we had Cage Casey on their left tackle. Big dude, man. That is a big dude. And he talked about the room, right, and how much the lasting impact that Ashton left. And then also you get a Sherrod who I can't remember if he was hurt last year at Fresno, but he's had his moments. He's had some moments. So he's a pretty sizable addition for Boise State. But look, I mean, I know folks care about San Diego State, and I don't know what to expect. I mean, that's, John, why I wanted to have you on my show. I know you guys got to get out of here, but I'm curious about what San Diego State's going to bring, because there was so much excitement in the college football world, I felt like, with Sean Lewis coming in.
Well, let me ask you this, because you cover this, all the leagues. Tim Murray, Vegas Sports and Information Network, with us. We only have a couple of minutes because we're kind of up against it.
Yep.
How many teams in today's football with the portal and the freedom of movement are going to return their entire defense? Because San Diego State will. They have all 11 starters, guys that have made at least multiple starts back. Yeah. They have one of the best defensive players actually in the country, in Trey White, who had 14.5 sacks last year. I think their offense absolutely will be upgraded because they had like 8 or 9 scholarship offensive linemen last year. They have 16 right now. So I think it's actually going to start with their defense. I think it's going to be in the trenches. Their offensive line is going to be upgraded. I think there's a lot of reason for optimism. And again, I'm biased on it. But I just feel like nationally, or even within the Mountain West, people are just sleeping on them. They're like, they went 3-9 last year, so they're not going to be any good. Where I'm like, they're bringing a lot back that was impactful a year ago. And I think it's fair to give a coach a year, especially in today's era.
Well, the year two bump. I just did my podcast earlier today with the guy who writes a preseason magazine called Pick Six Previews. It just focuses on the Power Four. But Brett Cianci was pointing out he loves that year two bump, that, from year 1 to year 2. So, is that UNLV? Is that San Jose State? As I mentioned already, they've got the year 2 bump. Is Boise State technically a year 2 bump because Spencer Danielson was there as an interim and he won the conference? I would say probably not, but yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, this conference outside of Boise feels like everybody's kind of fighting for runner up and going to the conference championship. And look, I know I'm going to be quiet here. I know we're in Vegas, but
well, Dan Mullen's right behind you.
Is he?
Yeah, right over there.
I'll say this quietly. Why are we just assuming that they're going to waltz into the conference championship game? I know he brought in a lot of transfers,
but that's hard to do sometimes.
But Anthony Calandri and Alex Orji don't really necessarily get me fired up at the quarterback position,
Final one, we looking at the group of 5.
Yep.
Boise State or the field?
I think I would say Boise. I think there are some Sun Belt teams. I think James Madison's pretty good. I think the American has better teams, but I think they beat up each other. I think the depth of the top part of the American, I'd say, is better than the Mountain West this year, because you've got Memphis, who spends a ton of money. I think they've got a chance to make the playoff. You've got USF, who brings back their quarterback. They're an intriguing team. They play Boise week 1, which could be a fascinating game.
Yep.
And then I think Navy could be really good this year. They bring back their quarterback. Speaking of Navy, there's Coach Ken walking by. But yeah, I think they're 18-1 to make the playoff. They play Notre Dame as they always do. So that could be an interesting game in November in South Bend. But I would say if you made me bet it today, I would probably take Boise State for comparison's sake. At DraftKings, which I know it can't bet it in California, can't bet it here in Nevada, but just as a resource, DraftKings has Boise State plus 190 to make the college football playoff. So technically, to your question, Jim, I think the field would maybe be a slight favorite.
Yeah.
But I probably would take Boise, just because I would also say too they get the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Right?
After last year,
and they didn't pull a Liberty. Like Liberty
Right.
got curb stomped.
Yeah, they were in their playoff game against Penn State. They had some things go against them, actually.
I thought Boise State played pretty well in that game.
Yeah, they had a touchdown called back because of a penalty. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you. Tim, great to see you, my
Yep.
friend. Always good to see you in Las Vegas. Let's do it again when
Yep.
we're back out here at some point in November. For
Sounds
San
good,
Diego
guys.
State football and
Love it.
basketball. Tim Murray, Vegas Sports Information Network. We'll get back to the Padres and the deadline coming up on the other side. Jon and Jim, stay with us.
All right, this update is brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. We'll start with SDFC last night, losing at home 1-0 to Toronto. Next up, they'll take on Vancouver this Saturday at Snapdragon Stadium, 7:30 kickoff time. Our pregame starts at 7 p.m. right here on San Diego Sports 760. NBA news of the day. Shams reporting earlier this afternoon that Damian Lillard is returning to the Portland Trailblazers on a 3-year deal. The Padres open up their second half tomorrow afternoon in Washington, D.C., where Dylan Cease will be on the mound for the Padres. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 with you until 6 p.m. Great to connect with Sean Lewis, head coach of the Aztecs, Tim Murray, Vegas Sports and Information Network. Padres, as you just mentioned, getting back on the field tomorrow. I think you just mentioned it. I wasn't really listening, but I heard you say something.
You don't listen.
Padres will be back tomorrow night. We're going to get back into the trade deadline in a moment. We do want to remind you the iHeartRadio Music Festival back. Live performances by John Fogerty and The Offspring and more. September 19th and 20th right here in Vegas. T-Mobile Arena, 2 nights, 1 stage. Buy tickets at AXS.com. Get them now before they sell out. All right, so we barely touched on this story earlier, what Ken Rosenthal wrote, which is Luis Robert Jr. You're not going to get a higher ceiling guy. You might not get a lower floor guy either. That's the intriguing thing about Luis Robert Jr. He writes that the White Sox might be willing to pay down his salary. He's not making crazy money, Jim. I mean, it's not crazy money. It's decent money.
He signed a 6-year, $50 million deal. He signed through 2025.
With team options for 26 and 27.
Correct.
Now. So if they can pay down some of that 26 and 27, plus the return's not going to be great because this guy is hitting 190 this year with 9 home runs. His WAR is literally 0.
It's literally 0.
So he's a replacement level player this year. But how often do you have a chance to acquire someone at the deadline that has had a 40 home run season? Well, he hasn't, but a 38 home run season as recently as 2023.
So here's the positive thought process on this thing. All right. Gavin Sheets, you would say he's having a pretty good season.
He's had a very good year.
As of right now, he's the 3rd best offensive player on this team behind Manny and Tatis. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
That's
who he is.
Didn't think I would be saying that at the start of the year, that he'd be the 3rd best offensive player.
6th or 7th.
Yeah. Where did he come from?
He came from the Chicago White Sox. I mean, he was born, so from like his family and his parents. But then the White Sox.
I know that, John. But like, what organization did he come from? He came from the White Sox organization.
He was largely ineffective, despite a lot of hype.
Correct.
Yes.
Had some moments.
Absolutely. Yep.
But came from the White Sox organization. Luis Robert Jr. is from the White Sox organization, where he's had success, but it's not consistent success. Maybe go back to the well again and see if you can strike lightning in a bottle twice here with someone from the White Sox organization, maybe three times with Tatis. Because you got Tatis, you got Gavin Sheets, and maybe Luis Robert Jr.
Tatis never played, of course, the White Sox organization.
Correct, yeah.
Traded before he ever played a professional game. But yeah,
27 years old, he has it in him.
I would take it. I refer to it as a flyer under the terms that Rosenthal lays out, where they're eating his salary, and where they're taking a lesser return. That to me is a complete flyer with only upside. I would do it.
Here's the thing, though. It cannot be just Luis Robert Jr.
No, that wouldn't be the only addition.
No. That would be like, it just wouldn't do anything.
Well, kind of lunacy if he continues to be that player and doesn't
100%.
hit.
It's like, you should have just kept what you have.
Right. He's in 190. I mean, 190 is terrible.
But if you got like Luis Robert Jr. and another right-handed bat and a catcher, now we're talking.
Right.
Then you're not putting all that pressure on, hey, Luis Robert, you're our quote-unquote big pickup at the deadline. Go out and perform. You'd make sure that he gets put in the right spots that he could hopefully succeed in and not play him every day. Off the bench, would you take Luis Robert Jr. off the bench or Trenton Brooks off the bench?
Oh, it's not even a question. And by the way, the numbers can only go up. I mean,
I hope so.
Here's a player that in his career has performed much better. This is an abject failure. He's probably the worst every day. He's one of the worst regulars in the sport. I mean, just based on the sheer numbers. With that being said,
OBS plus is
67.
67.
I mean, he's 33% worse than the average major league hitter. He's been awful. But if he does play better, he also runs incredibly well. He has 22 stolen bases, despite the fact that he's hit 190. He's had a 38 home run season, so he's got that legitimate raw power. Here's the way I look at it. I'm not putting my eggs in the Luis Robert Jr. basket for 2025, but I am betting on his future as well. I'm saying, listen, if we can turn him around now, amazing, because we think we have a chance to win right now. But if we can get him going right in 2026, that's going to work out well for us as well, especially if we can take the lower payroll and we're not giving a high return. So I would do it. I'm with you. It's not the solution, but it's part of a larger plan. If I was AJ Preller, go get upside talent, go buy low, and this is a player you can buy low on.
His first 4 seasons are really good.
Right.
From 2020 to 2023. Obviously 2020, the short year. But he had an 827 OPS. His OPS plus was 125. Now,
that's incredible.
His 2023 season really helped a lot because That was the 38 home run year, 5.3 WAR.
Sure, but 2021, look at that. I know he was hurt. I think he only played half the year. He had a great year.
Yeah, 2021 he had a 946 OPS in
Yep.
68 games. In 2022, this team would absolutely take a guy with a 746 OPS right now.
Solid enough.
100%.
Yeah.
If he's the player he is right now, if the Padres are to trade for him, yeah, that's not going to work. But if he's closer to the 2022 player or even the 2020 player with a 745, 746 OPS, dude, that is such a massive upgrade. And just the threat of his bat off the bench. I know he's not the guy that he was in 2023. Maybe he returns to that. That'd be awesome if he returned to that and he was in a Padres uniform. But they need somebody with a bat off the bench that at least threatens the opposing pitcher. No opposing pitcher right now is sitting there thinking, I hope they don't pinch hit Trenton Brooks. Hope they don't pinch hit Bryce Johnson.
Who else is coming off their bench with 100 career home runs? You know, he's
Nobody.
a legitimate power threat. And by the way, if they acquire him, he's going to get a lot of playing time. But you're right. If he's coming off your bench, he's a legitimate
For the
at
right
least power
price,
threat.
the right price, I could buy into it.
Dude, if it's like the $5 store, like what are those stores called? They used to be the dollar store, 5 and below.
Okay.
Like the baseball, again, I'm not going to spy high on him.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give up real assets or go give him $15 million a year if the White Sox aren't paying it down. But if you do it on the baseball cheap, why wouldn't you do it?
It's like we went to a card shop today, of course.
Of course we did. We didn't buy anything.
It's like buying one of those just average to below average packs. You know that they're sold there for $2, but we buy it for 10. You can't have that. You need to buy the below average pack
for less.
For less almost. Like, hey, I'll give you $1 for this.
Exactly. And if you can get it for $1, it's worth the flyer.
Yeah.
All right. More on that on the other side. Would you take the flyer on Luis Robert Jr.? He's owed $20 million in each of the next 2 years. But if the White Sox pay it down, would you take the flyer? Plus the wrap coming up at 4:00. The executive director of the college football playoff. If you missed that conversation, you're going to hear it coming up at 4:30. And if you miss Sean Lewis, you'll hear it later in the show as well. We're here until 6:00. It's Jon and Jim. All right, Jon and Jim live from Out West Media Days in Las Vegas at Circa. The Wrap's coming up at 4. If you miss Sean Lewis, you'll hear that conversation coming up at 5:30. And that is music. That is sweet, sweet music, Jim. What does that mean for our listeners and viewers right now?
That means right now you have 5 minutes to get to the iHeartRadio app. Make sure you put San Diego Sports 760 in your presets. Hit the talkback mic. Tell us your favorite superhero, and then you are entered to win a pair of badges to Comic-Con next week. We're announcing the grand prize winner for today's pair of badges at 5:30. So right now you have under 5 minutes to go to the talkback mic on the iHeartRadio app to tell us your favorite superhero, and also put San Diego Sports 760 in your presets. Then you're entered to win. Good luck.
All right, about 4 minutes and 10 seconds to do that. Clock is ticking. Open up the app right now. Do that for your chance to win. We'll announce the winner coming up at 5:30. Real quick here to put a bow on the Luis Robert Jr. conversation, at least for now. When I'm at Baseball Reference, and me and you use this site religiously. I absolutely love it. And I look at similarity scores for Luis Robert Jr. It is inarguable if you can get this player on the cheap to go out and get him. Why? Like, look at similar batters. Now, I know he's having a bad year. I know he's had ups and downs, but he's 27. The number one similar batter at Baseball Reference is Julio Rodriguez.
Okay.
Listen to some of the names that are similar batters through age 26 in the history of baseball. Torrey Hunter and Frank Thomas are two of them in the top 5 on that list.
Okay.
It just proves his ceiling is legitimate. Now, his floor is bad because we're watching it play out right now.
It's
in real
bad.
time in Chicago.
Yeah, it's bad.
But his ceiling is not Frank Thomas. It's not Torrey Hunter or Julio Rodriguez, probably, but he's put together at least seasons that would rival some of the seasons of those players. That's why, to me, it's not even a the reason it's a conversation is what Ken Rosenthal is writing is the White Sox might be willing to pay down salary and to take a lower return. That's where it's inarguable. If you got to pay through, an arm and a leg, or you have to give up crazy assets, well, then of course it's a conversation. But if you don't have to do that, then you got to strike if you have the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, like if in a week and a half, the Padres, you see the rumors or you see a report, Padres have made a trade for Luis Robert Jr., and we're all sitting there waiting for the, what do they
return?
What do they have to give up to get Luis Robert Jr.? Again, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I can't believe they gave up this player.
Right.
But still, I'm going to want to see, no offense, I'm going to want to see somebody I've never heard of before. I'm going to want to see someone that is going to the White Sox that I've never heard of before.
Right. Not Ethan Salas.
Even Cash Mayfield.
Right.
Like, you need to see, like, who's that?
Right.
Go back to the Chicago White Sox. That's kind of, I feel like, the way that you could make this trade. But if you're giving up pieces that, you've heard of before, or multiple players even, I don't know, man. I would be hoping that, that Luis Robert Jr. turns out that he's actually good here in San Diego if that were to happen.
Yeah, the issue with the outfield conversation that we've had, Jim, is there isn't a perfect player.
No.
Again,
even
at the
Jaron
time,
Durant.
that's what I was going to say. At the time, Juan Soto felt perfect. He didn't turn out to be, but he felt perfect. Jaron Durant bats lefty and is not having the same year as last year. We're talking about, obviously, Luis Robert Jr., who's in the midst of a terrible year right now. You mentioned Adolis Garcia. He's been fine, but it's nothing spectacular. There's going to be other names that pop up as well, but, there's not a ton of guys. There's nothing that's just hitting you in the face like, man, that would just be a home run of home runs. Like, you're gonna be buying something that's flawed. You're not buying like the perfect present here. You're buying something and maybe just hoping to make the most of it potentially.
Yeah, Adolis Garcia this year, guy that I've been talking about.
Yep.
He's got a 2.2 WAR, 13 home runs, 56 RBIs.
That's good.
His OPS, 682, 95 OPS plus.
Yeah, what's his batting average, right? It's been low.
234.
Yeah, it's fine.
But what he does bring to me, which is valuable, is postseason experience. Yeah. You watch a couple years ago, him in the postseason with the Texas Rangers, he was electric. And I know he wouldn't play right field because Tatis is there, but defensively, he's really good in the outfield. And if you want to move him to left, I think you can do that without having too big of a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a right-handed bat, something that you need. And he brings swag. He brings a lot of VAR. Shout out DSG.
The vibes, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they could use something like that. We'll see. I mean, I'm fascinated by it. This is the time of year. It's fun when your team is having a good enough year, and the Padres are. I mean, to their credit, they're having a good enough year. A lot of it on the backs of what they did the first 2 weeks of the season.
And he's hot, by the way. Going into the All-Star break, he's hot. He's hit 3 home runs in his last 5 games. He has 6 RBIs, and he's had a hit in every single game. So he's heating up a little bit here. Maybe you get him at the right time, but who knows if the Rangers are going to even trade Adolis Garcia. But his name has been out there in trade discussions recently. So who knows?
Well, again, first and foremost, it's getting out of this upcoming road trip with a good enough, you want to feel good about it going into the deadline. I still feel like that matters. We can say that Preller's still a buyer if they go, 3-7 here, and that's probably true. But are you still the same buyer? Like, you want to be confident if you're in Preller's shoes about your team. And to feel confident, you want to go to D.C. and Miami and St. Louis, and you want to play well enough. Like, you want to be sitting there on the 28th or 29th of July and say, my team is good. Like, you don't want to be questioning your team on the 28th or 29th of July. And that's why this 10-game road trip is important. I mean, everything's important here. They're right in the thick of it. They could be in, they could be out. Everything changes based on one game or one series. And that's where the Padres are right now in the standings.
Well, I do know firmly his team is in buy mode.
Buy. But is it buy?
Buy.
Oh, it's like, is
buy,
this backstreak
buy.
or is this 98 degrees or something?
Oh, my gosh. It's in sync.
In sync. That's what I mean. But are you buying? Are you buy? Or are you buy, like in sync? You go 8-2 here, you're buy.
Oh, you're buy.
You go 5-5. I think you're buy. You go 2-8. You ain't buy. Yeah, I'm sorry, you're not.
You're buy.
Right, but it's different.
You're not buy.
Exactly.
You're just like, we'll buy a little bit.
What are we talking about?
I don't even know.
I have no idea. All right, we're going to get to the wrap on the other side to kick off hour number 3. We're still at the Circa here in Las Vegas, Mountain West Media Days. If you miss Rich Clark, the College Football Playoff Executive Director, a great conversation about the future of the College Football Playoff. You'll hear that in the 4 o'clock hour. Plus, coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, our conversation with San Diego State's second-year head coach, Sean Lewis. In addition, we are qualifying listeners for 2 single-day badges to Comic-Con all day long. Be listening for that Superman theme song. When you hear it, you'll have 5 minutes to open the iHeart app, search for San Diego Sports 760, click the talkback mic, and tell us your favorite superhero to be qualified to win 2 single-day badges for Comic-Con. The wrap is on the other side. Hour 3 of Jon and Jim from Las Vegas, Nevada. That is next. Stay with us on San Diego Sports 760. All right, hey guys, it is Jon and Jim again for the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. Make sure to get out there each and every Monday night for Monday Night Live, and that's going on throughout the month of July. 10 winners every hour, 7, 8, and 9 p.m. Odds better than ever. Onyx players getting an extra $100 cash bonus on top of their winnings. Plus, earn entries all month by playing. Get 2 times the entries on Tuesdays with at least $500 cash for all winners and a chance to win up to $50,000 in the big deal game. It's a promotion you're not going to want to miss.
And start spinning your way to riches. Get ready to elevate your gaming experience with their brand new casino app. Get 200,000 bonus coins when you sign up and enjoy real rewards with every in-app purchase. You can play online at playhamulcasino.com. That's playhamulcasino.com.
And get there this Saturday night, UFC 318, Saturday at 7 p.m. Catch all the action at Tony Gwynn Sports Pub, Loft 94, and the Poker Room at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place.
All right, this update is brought to you by Staples Stores. We'll start with SDFC. Last night, they lost 1-0 at home to Toronto. Next up, they'll take on Vancouver this Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium at 7:30. Kickoff is at 7:30. Our pregame starts at 7 p.m. right here on San Diego Sports 760. NBA news of the day. Damian Lillard is returning to the Portland Trailblazers on a 3-year contract. And the Padres second half gets underway tomorrow afternoon in Washington. Dylan Cease will be on the mound for the Padres. How many times have we all said that was easy? Well, the Staples Easy button is back. It's got everyone saying it again for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos, plus quality products delivered next day to over 98% of the U.S. Staples. That was easy.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of Jon and Jim. We're here until 6 p.m. Mountain West Media Days at the Circa Hotel in Las Vegas. We've been here for the last couple of days. It's been fun. It's been a ton of fun. In fact, I'm going to walk away a winner. Jim's going to walk away a loser because of what happened away from the mics here. We talked about that earlier. I've got my Fernando Tatis Jr. signed Bowman baseball card that I picked up in a baseball vending machine. What does that even mean? Like I picked it up in I mean, it's crazy.
What do you mean, what does it mean?
Like, who would have thought? Seriously, like, you come to Vegas. We've been coming to Vegas for a long time. I never thought about going to Vegas and like playing my luck at a mystery sports card vending machine.
So if you're watching us on YouTube, there it is right there. It is a perfect 10 autograph. Now the card isn't a 10, but the autograph is a 10. Look at this, Aaron. So
Aaron.
All right.
Get over here.
Aaron is joining us right now.
Oh, Aaron, hop on.
Little headset on.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Our buddy Aaron here at Circa.
Yeah.
So listen to last night, real quick. So have you heard of these, Aaron? First of all,
have you heard of Lucky Boxes?
Have you heard of Lucky Box?
Vaguely.
So these vending machines, they have Pokemon cards, they have sports cards, and they have got signed jerseys. But you don't know what you're getting. It's Vegas, right? It's like a Vegas game. So we saw it on social media, and I'm like, listen, when in Vegas, right? I mean, I'm not a huge gambler, so I said, look, we could spend some money on this. Take out the credit card last night. I said, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And out drops. This is perfect for a San Diego sports talk host. What pops out?
Oh,
boom!
Wow,
Signed Tatis.
impressive there.
Right?
I know. Luck of the draw there.
I'm like, Jim, you got to do it.
Okay.
And Jim's a huge Pokemon guy.
I like Pokemon cards.
So's my daughter.
I got this thing. It's like $2. I spent like $80 on it. I don't even know what it is.
He says like
It's
the worst card.
cool foreign language though.
It's
in Japanese.
It's a Japanese card, but I looked it up. It's worth like $5. So
Hey, $5 is $5.
It's
yeah, even though I
So
paid
after you got the Tatis, you decided to make that your lucky run, and you started playing the tables, right? 'Cause
No,
that should have been a sign.
I should have maybe. I mean,
I know.
thought
Put
about it.
150
I
on
considered it.
black. It's all good. There we go.
Considered it.
Yeah.
Aaron, well, we have you for a couple of minutes, and I know that San Diego Sports 760 is going to be back out here in August. All the Circa sports promotions around football
get
are
ready.
back, right? Circa Millions, Circa Survivor. That's going on right now, right?
Yeah, we're excited. We're excited to have you guys part of this again, even though I know you guys can't make. You
I
got
know,
other
right?
obligations,
Yes.
but we're
Do we?
absolutely happy to have your station come out here, be part of contest weekend, August 20th to 23rd, to help promote our football contest. And you guys know, at past couple of years, we've worked together, talk about Circa Million, which is the classic handicappers contest. Pick 5 games against the spread every single week. Winner takes home $1 million, 126 different winners.
Wow.
Top 100 pays out. We got quarterly prizes. The person who comes in last place also wins a lot of money. So, there are people out there going to try to come in last. Then, of course, Circa Survivor, now up to 15 million guaranteed. And between me and you, it's going over the 15
It's going to go over 15
Wow.
million.
It's trending right
I
now.
might
It's
have
going to be a ton. Last year, 8 people split $14.2 million.
Here's the thing.
my
I might have
gosh.
to listen. I might have to double down. I was in
A lot of cards from the Lucky Box machine.
There we go.
I was in last year. I was in Circa Millions.
Okay.
And I split it with some buddies. That's the beauty of this thing.
Obviously, you
by the way.
didn't win.
Now, I didn't win, but we had a ton of fun, and it's a great way to reconnect with friends. Like, because every single week we're like, hey, do you like the Bucks? Hey, do you like the Eagles? Hey.
Right.
So, I mean, it couldn't be easier. It's so simple. It's so fun. You can, and here's the beautiful thing for people that are in San Diego listening to us. all you got to do is enter in Vegas. But then I was in San Diego all football season, but you can play from anywhere.
Yep.
So that's the thing. You enter in Vegas, but you come out to Vegas for a weekend, you enter, and then boom.
And there are people that can
They're
do
going
it
to
for
put
you.
your plays in.
Yeah, they're
I
plays
had
in
my buddy
Vegas,
Tim
yeah.
Murray, Vegas Sports Information Network, who was just with us, who we all know through minor league baseball. You and I know through minor league baseball as
Carolina
well. So,
League.
Carolina League, which
There
has
we
come up
go.
multiple times today on Jon and Jim. So, again, if you're in San Diego and you're listening to us, or you're in Southern California listening to us on 760, get to Vegas, get to Circa, and enter, and then play along all season long.
There is one new thing I want to make you
we have a new
guys
thing.
aware
A new
of
thing.
that I think is perfect for you guys. You
Okay.
guys seem like this is up
Okay,
to you.
I want to hear it.
We have a new contest. It is called Circa Grandissimo.
Circa Grandissimo.
Grandissimo. It's everything you love about Circa Survivor. You get 20 weeks, Survivor, pick one a week and advance or don't. $100,000 buy-in. So it looks perfect for you guys.
I like this.
Sell the Tatis card,
Wait, time out.
and then we're in it.
100K is all it takes.
That's
to
All
enter?
it takes,
That's
100K,
nothing.
guaranteeing 1.5, but we already have 6 entries, so we're already up to 600,000 the prize pool. It's same exact rules. And
100K.
The interesting thing about this, think about Circa Survivor. You're trying to go the entire season. You got to go the 20 and
yeah,
0
you're not
to
going to
win.
need to do that with 15 people.
Yeah, we're going to think it's probably going to be more, but
Yes.
if let's say it's 25, 30 people. Think about your Survivor pools that you play with your high
Yeah.
school
You
buddies
lose
or
half the
whatever.
people.
You're it's over by week 7. It
Yeah.
could be this way. Completely different game theory.
Do it.
And by the way, everyone who signs up gets the Grandissimo experience here at Circa, which includes 3 nights at the stay at the Founders Suite. It includes a JSX flight from wherever you're at in the country to
Dude.
come out to Vegas. It includes chef tables at Barry's and Andiamo, the Derek Stevens experience at Stadium Swim, so much more. We're going to treat you like a pro for anyone who signs up for Circa Grandissimo.
This is 100K, but Jim, if we split this,
Then
it's actually
yes,
just 50K.
Yeah, a lot of our listeners are willing to drop
no
100K.
doubt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
easily.
there's no
Yeah.
doubt.
That sounds like an
Circa
amazing
Grandissimo.
experience, though.
Circa Grandissimo, first ever year for it, is going to be the best high stakes contest in the country.
Wow.
Just to go along with the 2 other best contests,
Dude.
Circa Million and Circa Survivor.
I love that.
I do
I
too.
really do.
$500,000.
I don't know if you would
But
necessarily enter because
yeah.
Jim's luck, as evidenced by his $2 Pokemon card,
It's not
isn't great.
Yeah, I even said
But,
it last night.
but
too.
apparently you're
I got some luck.
So what
with my
you're saying,
Tatis.
you have luck. You're going to go win on the tables. You're going to win $100,000, and you're going to put that money towards a Grandissimo entry.
I will say this: if I was in Grandissimo, man, I'd be locked into that week 1
Yeah,
action.
you
Man.
would.
I'd be locked into every single Bengals
course.
play. I'll tell you that right now. That is unbelievable. Well, okay, so again, you got the contest weekend coming up in August.
Yeah, August 21st.
It feels
to
like there's
23rd.
not a lot of downtime here at Circa.
Dude, you guys, it's crazy over here.
This face like, nope. There's
Nah,
no
guys,
doubt.
what is downtime? What is
Exactly,
that? No,
yeah.
obviously that's kind of the big thing right now. Everything's pushing towards contest
Yeah.
weekend, but between now and then, just in town, it's not going to be here at Circa, but Big Ten Media Days are here, and obviously we're planning on
Oh,
having
that's right.
people in and out.
Oh,
That's
wow.
going to be in Vegas next week. We have a big convention called Bet Bash in the middle of August. A lot of the top gamblers come in, have panels. It's great networking opportunity.
Get them in Grandissimo.
You get
Yeah.
exactly. You
Yeah.
get
Right,
them in
right.
Grandissimo. We got so much going on. I mean, we just had a huge Love Island watch party this past Sunday, the finale
was
watch
Jim
party. At
there?
Stadium
I
Swim.
was all in on Love Island this year.
You
and
should have come out to Stadium Swim for the watch party.
trust
Honestly,
me.
you could have.
Here's the thing.
He was
So,
here this weekend.
I was here this past weekend, and we flew home Sunday night or Sunday afternoon.
Well, that was a mistake.
I know it was, but the thing was, our flight got canceled, so we were scrambling. And I even told my wife, Erin, Circa, because my buddy, we stayed here. My buddy stayed here this past weekend, and Circa's having a Love Island finale watch party.
right.
She's like, well, if we planned it out better, then we would have gone. But it was an S show for me. But I saw that. It turned out to be a great event, and easy win, Amaya. Duh. Of course, Amaya was going to win.
Dude, I
Terrible.
Aaron's like, I have no idea.
No, actually, I do.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you. It's one
I
of the
have
person
no
that
idea.
John has no clue.
I'm
what
just
talking
still so
about.
fixated on this Grandissimo, dude. I want to steal the idea and have a Jon and Jim Grandissimo. You want more Jon and Jim?
$100,000.
$100K. Sign up now.
That
You
would
get
help.
more content.
Maybe we'll have a division in Grandissimo. You bring people out here, part of contest weekend, get people out here, sign up, and there's your little division.
A Jon and Jim Grandissimo division, or just a
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
I'm in.
Aaron, man, we appreciate you having us out here. This is
Yeah,
such a
man.
great spot. We tell our listeners all the time because, listen, as many people that are in San Diego that come to Vegas, I mean, this is like a home away from home. I mean, it is for San Diego State. When it
Yeah.
comes to basketball, they're like 40-10 here.
We were just talking
They're
about
going
Players
60
Era.
games. Yeah, a Players Era
That's
coming up in
right.
November.
Mhm.
If you're coming out this November, that's a great point. I think there were
Say it, Circa.
4,000 Aztec fans for that first event. If you're coming out for that event, they're playing Michigan, they're playing Oregon, they'll get a third game. They finished in third place last year. They beat Houston, they beat Creighton. If you're coming out, stay at Circa. I mean, you have
100%.
everything that you need. There'll be tons of college basketball fans, Aztec fans throughout the city. If you're coming out in November, a couple of months away, get to Circa. It's a great spot for it.
Keep your eye out for Hoopsgiving. We're going to be having all
Love it.
sorts of stuff around here for that. We're definitely going to be hoping the
Okay.
Aztec fans come out here in force.
All right.
Perfect.
Aaron, love seeing you, man.
Awesome
Thanks
to
for
have you
having us,
guys
man.
out
Appreciate
here.
it.
We appreciate it. Let's take a time out. On the other side, let's get to the wrap. We're going to hear from Rich Clark, the executive director of the College Football Playoff at 4:30. Stay with us. This is Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760. All right, so if you are maxed out on credit cards or are struggling with high interest debt, you could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey guys, it is Schaefer. Get cash now without touching your low rate first mortgage. There are no appraisals, there is no waiting, no BS. It's the Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto. It really is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved. They did it in less than a day, paying off debt, renovating their home, cutting their expenses by $1,800 a month. Just a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates with no hard credit pull up front. Your home equity is yours. You should use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Call now to start the conversation. The number is 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. Again, 619-207-4336. Get debt relief now at loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, NMLS consumeraccess.org. All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 live from Mountain West Media Days, the Circa in Las Vegas. Fun couple of days for me.
What are you talking about?
I think it's been a fun couple of days for you as well. I felt bad when you didn't hit on your Pokemon card in the vending machine. I did. I truly felt bad because I hit a good card with Tatis. If we both didn't hit, it would be like, whatever. If we both hit big, we'd be like, man, this is the greatest night of our life. When I end up with this, like, when I end up with this like $1 million card,
yeah,
and you end up with like a $2 card, I just felt bad.
It's okay.
It's fine. It's Vegas.
It's fine.
That's called gambling.
It's
That's
fine.
what happened.
You know, it wasn't like I spent
No,
an ungodly amount of money on something and it turned out to be awful. I mean, yeah, $80 is $80, but it was the experience that you're paying for. I mean, it's a cool thing. I like it a lot, the experience of it. Just also having to realize the likelihood of me being able to get something that I would want wasn't that high. And I even said before, like, you took a video, and I said,
yeah, you did say it.
I was like, I have awful luck. This is going to be crap. Like, this is going to suck.
You did say that.
And lo and behold,
you do.
Wasn't that great?
Got to spend money to make money.
What's up?
So you got to spend money to make money.
Here's the thing.
Scary money don't make money.
If you leave Vegas with an $80 like betting debt, that is a good
It's a
week
win.
in Vegas. Like, if you're leaving here like down 100, it when it's bad is when you're down 1,000 or 10,000 or grandissimo 100,000.
I couldn't even fathom going home and telling Aaron that I lost $1,000 gambling.
Well, you should tell Aaron, hey, me and John, we split this, so we're not in for 100K, but we're in a survivor pool for $100,000, but it's only 50K for me. Is that cool, honey? I put $50,000 on my credit card.
Yeah, I don't think that would go over well.
Yeah, probably not.
But Aaron thought the whole thing was cool. She saw the
Which
videos.
Aaron? Oh, Aaron, you okay?
My
We
Aaron.
just said Aaron from Circuit.
Not Circuit,
your
Aaron.
wife.
My wife
thought
Aaron.
the vending machine was cool.
Yes.
Is there an Aaron, your Aaron equivalent? Like, would she try her luck at a vending machine if like Love Island DVDs fell out of it or something? Is there an equivalent
DVDs?
Or
Bro, they don't make DVDs anymore.
Good point. Like maybe like
I think it's digital.
Something for Bentley.
It's a good question.
Isn't that a question? I don't know if Kristen would. There's no way she would do anything like that.
If there was like a Amazon like gift card for a year or something, she would probably do it.
Right.
Man, that girl, she
likes Amazon.
She can order the Amazon with the best of them.
She can spend money.
Well,
then maybe she would like Circuit.
Not spend a bunch of money, but she'll just order a lot of things off Amazon. And she's also really, really good with doing the things that us men don't really think about, which is like getting the toilet paper, getting the toothpaste, getting the soap for the house, getting all the essentials.
Yeah, I don't do that.
All comes from Amazon.
Right.
So because she does that, she gets the right to go buy what she also wants off Amazon, like skirts and shoes and, bags.
Yeah,
and
I never buy
else.
skirts on Amazon.
I can tell.
Rich Clark, College Football Playoffs Executive Director, coming up in about 10 minutes. But right now, let's get to this.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Now that Caitlin Clark is out due to injury, is anyone going to watch the WNBA All-Star game?
Like literally? Like, will there be one person?
Literally. Well, I guess what impact will it have on the ratings?
It will
be down
half. It will tank the ratings. Now she'll be there and she'll be like the host of the weekend because it's in Indy. But let's be real here. I'm sorry, no one's going to watch. I mean, the ratings are going to tank, and it's unfortunate because I know the WNBA was probably thinking to themselves, "This is going to be a great weekend for us to showcase our game." Caitlin's at the forefront. It's going to be a 3-point contest. Maybe they should just put the All-Star game back in Indy next year.
Yeah, honestly,
to give them another opportunity.
I actually read they're interested in bringing it back to Las Vegas, which just makes sense, obviously, because everything's in Las Vegas.
The Aces.
The Aces have had all that success. I mean, it's going to have a drastic impact. I mean, if she played, the ceiling would be ridiculous. What if she played and scored like 30 points, but she's not in the festivities with the 3-point contest. She's not in the actual game itself. Yeah, it's a complete train wreck, I would guess, from a ratings perspective. But the good news is she's a second-year player. Hopefully she's in another 10 or 15 All-Star games. But this year alone, it's a huge loss for the WNBA. Next question.
Should the Padres take a flyer out on Luis Robert Jr.?
Flyer, yes. Trading like actual legit pieces for him, no. Flyer, absolutely. But it's not necessarily a flyer. Gavin Sheets was a flyer. Last year, Donovan Solano, flyer. Jurickson Profar, flyer. What would you give up for Luis Robert? What do you have to give up for Luis Robert? The money, how you did all of the stuff here. I don't consider it to be a flyer because you're going to have to give up something to get him back. You know, you didn't have to give up anything to bring in Gavin Sheets and Jurickson Profar last year and Donovan Solano.
Right.
Like, those are flyer deals. This would be, you got to give a little something up, and depends on how much they give up to get them, if that were to happen.
I completely agree. I think if you can buy low, you're very interested. I think if you have to buy at full asking price, you're a lot less interested. So there's a fine line there. I'm interested in the player, but I am curious what the return would be from the Padres' perspective. So I agree completely with you. Next question.
Will Scotty Scheffler win the U.S. Open?
Open Championship.
No.
All right, so right now, let me just pull this up.
He played well today.
So I'm looking at the leaderboard. Okay, Scotty Scheffler's 3 under after the first round, shot a 68. Right now, the leader is at 4 under par.
So he's really well positioned.
100%. Scotty or the field? I'll take Scotty.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm
Like,
looking at this.
He is just such a solid player that even when he plays bad, he's in it. You know, look at the Masters this year. He didn't play well. He was in it. Look at the U.S. Open. Didn't particularly play well. He was lurking. He doesn't have that full Tiger effect where people are, I think, scared of him like they were scared of Tiger on the leaderboard. But I do think there's a little bit of that there. Like, oh, Scotty's lurking. Like, watch out. He's a couple behind the leader on the leaderboard. You know, he just has that in him. That's just how well he is playing and just the type of player that he is.
I'd almost be surprised if he didn't win because he's just so consistent right now. I know that's crazy to say about a golfer. Like, you're just like, I'd be surprised if you don't win. That's crazy. But I'd be surprised. Rory, by the way, has played well. He's 1 under. Xander Schauffele is at even par through a round. So four shots or strokes off the pace. So, yeah, I'd be surprised personally. Scotty Scheffler has just completely emerged. And we'll see if he wins another major this week or not. Next question.
Are you worried about SDFC after they lost at home last night 1-0?
Well, it wasn't good that after they parted ways with Milan Alowski that they happened to go, get a 0 goals on the board there. Now, last night there was an awful non-call in that game. Should have been a handball.
Yeah.
Clear as day. Ref did not call it.
Mm-hmm.
Complete joke. But
still
got
to overcome
it.
Right?
The fact remains that you put up no goals. And after I'm not going to say they let go of Milan. It was a mutual parting of ways. They could not come to an agreement. But still, not the best of looks when you don't have that guy in your roster anymore and you go out and you don't put up any goals.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, here's the thing. Over a long year, there's going to be good matches. There's going to be bad matches. I mean, it's similar to any sport. They're playing 34 regular season matches. It's a ton of soccer. But it is a concern. I mean, they were a heavy favorite last night at home, and they didn't score. Let's see how they bounce back Saturday is what I would say. Like, imagine if they bounce back Saturday and end up with 1 or fewer goals and a tie or a loss. Like, you wouldn't feel great if they went home loss followed by tie or loss with 1 or fewer goals on Saturday.
100%.
But, again, overall, you look at their body of work, it's really, really good. But did they feel the impact of not having, Milan Alowski with them this past last night? Potentially.
How could you not?
Yeah.
The one thing we were talking about this in the Uber ride back from sushi last night in a complete food coma.
Yeah.
Is, the other team has to now account for Milan because of how dangerous he has been when he has been out in the field.
Right.
And so now you don't have that anymore. You don't have that player that the other team has to at least account for. So now you can, double up on Chucky or double up on Anders. Like, you're not worried about that other threat out there like other teams had to be worried about when Milan was on the field.
Yeah, again, it's one match. Let's see how they play Saturday when Vancouver comes here. I mean, Vancouver, this is a massive match coming up Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium.
Now, if I'm not mistaken,
These are the top 2 teams in the West, aren't they?
Well, I was going to go back to their last matchup here, John.
Yeah.
And this was on the road in Vancouver.
It was a win.
Yeah. And guess what happened in that game? Milan Alowski scored 4 goals.
It's not going to happen this weekend.
Nope. But if you remember that match, he scored in the 35th, the 37th, the 44th, and the 47th minute.
4 goals in 12 minutes.
Like, what? 4 goals of 12 minutes of playing time. He scored right out of this in the second half. 3 goals to end the first half. And you don't have that anymore. And that's the last matchup against Vancouver. Now, I know SDFC was a couple men down, and they had to put Milan into the starting position or starting role in that game. He started for them, one of his only starts of the season for SDFC. But I mean, dude, come on, man! You score 4 goals in that match, and that was a matchup between the top 2 teams in the West.
Still are. I mean, this is amazing. Saturday night, Snapdragon Stadium, San Diego FC, 42 points, Vancouver, 41 points. Vancouver, a match in hand. This is huge. There's about 10 or 11 matches left in the regular season. There's just a ton on the line in San Diego on Saturday night. All right, we'll turn our attention back to Mountain West Football Media Days on the other side with Rich Clark, the College Football Playoff Executive Director. If you missed Sean Lewis, by the way, earlier, you'll hear our conversation coming up at 5:30 as well. Don't go anywhere. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 76.
Oh, look at that.
Hold on. Before we break, Jim. For our listeners, you have 5 minutes, exactly 5 minutes right now to open the iHeartRadio app. Search for San Diego Sports 760. Click on the little red microphone, the talkback mic. Tell us your favorite superhero. While you're in the app, put San Diego Sports 760 in your number 1 preset position in the app. Once you tell us your favorite superhero via talkback, within the next 4 minutes and 40 seconds, you are qualified to win 2 free single-day badges to Comic-Con for next weekend. We will announce today's winner coming up at 5:30.
Everything you said, ditto.
Rich Clark coming up next, Jon and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by Staples. We'll start with SDFC. We just were talking about them. They lost last night 1-0 to Toronto at home. Next up, they'll take on Vancouver this Saturday at Snapdragon Stadium, 7:30 kickoff time. 7 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts on San Diego Sports 760. NBA news of the day, Damian Lillard is returning to Portland on a 3-year deal, and the Padres get their second half underway tomorrow afternoon in Washington, D.C. Dylan Cease will start for the Padres. How many times have we all said that was easy? Well, the Staples Easy button is back, and it's got everyone saying it again for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos, plus quality products delivered next day to over 98% of the U.S. Staples. That was easy.
All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Sean Lewis coming up at 5:30. We're here until 6 p.m. Mountain West Football Media Days at the Circa in Las Vegas. We had the executive director of the College Football Playoff on with us yesterday, Rich Clark. A really fascinating conversation as, of course, the College Football Playoff expanded last year, could be changing again in the future. And we started the conversation asking Rich Clark about the good, the bad, and the ugly of year one of the expanded College Football Playoff.
Yeah, well, let's see. What should I start with? I'll start with the good. The good was well, let me start with overall. It was I felt like, and I think most fans and athletes and coaches felt like it was really well done. It was a great playoff and very strong. We knew we weren't going to get it 100% right, but we're taking it to the next level now. So the good, the campus games, the first round, spectacular. I got to go to Notre Dame and Ohio State. Those games were just electric. And when I watched them again on video, I was just so happy about that. And that was really great. And the institutions did a great job putting those games on. So that was very strong. I felt like the quarterfinals and the semifinals that our bowl partners put on, they brought the traditions and the pageantry of the bowls. Another great success, and the championship game was in Atlanta, so that was just a dream for me to be there and to just watch that happen was just amazing. So in total, just the presentation of the playoff was very good. So the bad, and now I won't say it's bad, but it's something that we needed to change, and we thought that we might need to change this going in, but the 5 highest ranked conference champions got in, and the top 4 of them got a bye. That was something that the commissioners believed was going to really reward the conference champions. I think we might have gone just a step too far. Having the conference champions in the playoff is significant and very important, and we need to honor conference champions. And so getting the top 5 ranked into the playoff is good. Giving the top 4 of them a bye was probably not the best thing because it sort of skews the bracket a little bit. And rather than that, this year what we're going to do is make the seeding in accordance with the ranking. So you'll have the top 4 teams, period, whether they're a conference champion or not, the top 4 ranked teams get a bye. And that gives you more of what a traditional bracket playthrough looks like. You know, you start with the lower seeded teams and they fight their way up through the bracket. That I think is going to be good. So I don't want to say it was bad, but it was something that we needed to change, and we did. We made the change this year. The commissioners knew right up front that was something, especially after the playoff was done, that was something that they needed to do, and they acted on that. And so we're going to execute that this year.
So those changes that you're going to make that you're talking about, have they already been implemented, or is there a time that you have to, make a decision on those changes?
Decisions made. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that will be this year. We'll have a 12-team format this year with a straight seed. The straight ranking will give us the seeding.
But then 2026, all bets are, so to speak, off, right?
Okay, that's the ugly.
That's the ugly, right?
Okay, there we go.
Here's my general question. Here's my general question, and Rich Clark is with us, the CFP executive director. There's so much, there's so much passion in the sport of college football. I get it. And there's a lot of discussion about access and power and revenue. But I guess the layman way to ask it is, why in basketball do we have all these league champions, right? All this access, the Northeast Conference to the Big Ten are all in the NCAA tournament, where it just feels like there's so much infighting to determine this. And it's like a desire to to not necessarily have it a fully level playing field. It feels like it's already slanting a little bit towards the Power 4 as opposed to just access for FBS. Why is the football methodology so much different from like the NCAA tournament methodology when it comes to men's and women's basketball?
Yeah, so I don't think it's that much different. You're right, though. It is different. I mean, there's no doubt. But so let me start here. There's two different ways that the format might go, right? For 26 and beyond. Right. We just talked about what 25 is going to look like. So 26 and beyond. The two prevailing ideas here, one is an automatic qualification, where each conference, it is predetermined what the conference is, at least the A4, SEC, Big 10, Big 12, ACC, predetermined number that they would get in, plus probably one other conference champion would get in, and then an at-large team, depending on how many we go. If we go 12, 14, or 16, the remaining would be at-larges. So that would definitely slant towards the higher echelon conferences, right? But in a way, they have probably some of the higher end teams that are going to be in the ranking. So it might not look that much different than a straight ranking would look, but you don't know. But it does bring some certainty. It does allow you to do different things in the regular season, to have greater matchups, to maybe have some play-in games at the end of the regular season to determine which of those conference teams would get in. So there's some benefits to that, but it does slant towards the conferences that have the higher end teams, right, from a ranking standpoint. The other option is what we're calling right now the 5+11, and that's assuming 16 teams. You'd have the 5 conference champions plus the next 11 at-large ranked teams. That opens it up, and it's a little bit more akin to the basketball tournament. Now, that to me is more of a traditional look, as more traditional as far as college championships goes and playoffs go. And that's the other way that the commissioners are looking at this. There's no firm decision on which way we're going to go yet. I think from an access standpoint, the 5+11 is the better way to go. And the more teams, whether it's 12, 14, or 16 obviously gives you the most access. But we run out of windows. You don't have but so many weekends to play those games and so many TV windows in a given weekend. So there's a lot there. And how far are you going to extend the season for our student athletes? So there's just a lot of questions and a lot of details that the commissioners have to go through before they make a decision.
At Boise State last year, making the college football playoff as a non-Power 4 program, as long as the playoff is around, will there always be a spot for the non-power schools to potentially compete in to be in the college football playoffs? So
yeah, Jim, that's a big question. As long as a playoff, that's like maybe eternity, So I can't. But I will. Here's what I will say: for the foreseeable future, I'll say that. Okay, I think that access will be there. Okay, and at least the group of commissioners that we have right now, they're committed to keeping that access for a team to have a path into the playoff. And so I think for the foreseeable future, we'll have that access.
Rich, we appreciate you having on. I would just make this point, is that when you, and again, it's just my 2 cents. It's not to you, it's just 2 cents. As a diehard college football fan, and as someone that covers it locally and loves, non-power football as well, when you got 130-something programs and you only allow one spot potentially in the playoff for, 60, 70, 80 of your programs, and then you got these other, power programs, 67 or 80, where they're getting 15 of the 16 slots. It just feels as if, I like the 5+11 because at least you get someone from the non-power. I almost kind of like 6+10. Let the 10 at-larges go to the power leagues, but guarantee a couple of opportunities for the Pac-12, the Mountain West, the American. It just seems like there's so much good football being played. To leave out a 12-1 program over, an 8-4, 9-3 team, and they don't square off. It just, to me, it's what I prefer. Maybe it's because of the NCAA tournament, and I've seen Lehigh beat Duke, so to speak, and we've watched the upsets. I know football's not basketball, but you just like when it's decided on field, which is what the playoff does. And we didn't have it previously. Just wish we would maybe consider going even further with the access for the programs that aren't in the quote-unquote, power leagues.
Yeah, and what you're saying is a very strong argument, right? Yeah. For sure. Here's the one thing that I would counter with just
Yeah.
a little bit, is that you can't just look at the records.
No doubt.
Just because you have a 12-1 team or whatever the record is, all records aren't created equal.
I
right?
agree.
There's a strength of schedule element here that has to be considered, and when you don't have the opportunity for enough head-to-head games, and even you don't really have enough for common opponents,
Right.
to really make good judgments. That's where the people on the AQ side really, they fall. I think, though, people who are in your camp would say, but you have enough. You have enough opportunities to really look at all teams and give them at least a close enough evaluation to determine what the rank order should be and to give them that access and that opportunity. So it's a tough one. It really is, but nothing's going to be perfect. But I think we can't let perfect get in the way of progress, and we're going to have to find the best solution that we can and then execute it.
And finally, real quick, the new Pac-12 that is being created next year, it will get started. Teams like Boise State, San Diego State are in there. Obviously, the two remaining former Pac-12 schools in there. What's your thought on that conference and the strength of that conference going forward for their chances, every year potentially to get, a team in the college football playoff?
Yeah, I mean, once they get reconstituted, they have some strong teams that are going to be in that conference. And as long as there's that, if nothing else, there's that one path of the top 5 ranked conference champions will get in, and that conference is going to have some good teams that'll vie for that position. Whoever the conference champion is, and that in the new Pac-12 is probably going to be very competitive to get one of those conference champion slots at a minimum. Now, there's still, if we go with the 5 plus 11, then there's 11 other slots that they might get. And, the Mountain West is, all of our G6 conferences, all you have to have is that one team that strikes lightning in a bottle and they win the conference champion. They might be the team to get in. So I love the fact that the commissioners are leaving that opening. And you're right. It's one opening for, 134 schools, but 134 schools aren't going to be competitive to win the national championship. One of those conference champions, though, very well could be. And I think that it's a good pathway to get an actual viable contender into the playoff.
Rich Clark, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, good stuff. Again, that was from yesterday here at Mountain West Media Days in Las Vegas. You're going to hear from Sean Lewis, the head coach of the Aztecs, coming up at 5:30. We're also getting you ready for the second half of the Padres. It'll get underway tomorrow afternoon in our nation's capital against the Washington Nationals. We'll get you ready for that series on the other side. We're at Mountain West Football Media Days in Las Vegas. This is Jon and Jim. All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. If you missed our conversation with Sean Lewis, Aztecs second-year head coach, you'll hear that coming up at 5:30.
We are shutting this place down.
We're shutting this place down. This happens every year.
I feel awkward. Everyone's like packing up, ready to leave,
Well,
and we're just still broadcasting here. Oh, they're going to throw us out in a second, which I'm okay with.
It's not
throw
just
us out.
We got Altitude Sports Radio.
Yes,
okay,
we do.
that's on in Denver.
Uh-huh.
We've got us that's on in San Diego. Did you know they listen to this? Did you realize this? So we talked about this earlier. They have like 22 radio affiliates or like, YouTube podcast type shows, right? 22 different media outlets. One of the shows that is here is from ESPN Radio Mississippi.
Huh?
Why, you may ask yourself? Because Dan Mullen, the head coach of UNLV, used to be at Mississippi State.
Wow, that's dedication right there.
I mean, that's how crazy college football is in the South. First of all, his last job was at Mississippi State. He went from Mississippi State to Florida, then was let go at Florida, has been out for a couple of years. He was doing ESPN broadcasting, is now back at UNLV. ESPN Mississippi makes the trip to Las Vegas for a 10-minute interview of Dan Mullen.
That's crazy.
That is insane.
We could barely make the trip to Vegas and we're the flagship of the Aztecs.
I know. I mean, that's just unbelievable.
We were talking to BJ Rains of Broncos Nation. He was on with us a couple days ago, and he was broadcasting 30 feet away from us. And he was telling us that he broadcasted for 7 straight hours today.
And yesterday. Now, he had some help. He had some other people with him, but he interviewed every coach in the league. He interviewed players from all the
breaks.
Schools.
Nothing.
He just went for 6 or 7 hours.
Straight. He said, finally, I just put up a we'll be back soon because they do their stuff digitally online.
Right.
But, 7 straight hours, dude.
No, we complain a lot about 4 hours.
And we have breaks.
That's like
7?
Yeah, 7's a lot. 7's a lot of hours.
How?
I always feel bad too. Here's the other thing about Mount West Media is I love doing this because I love the access.
You're a college football junkie.
And I think for our listeners and for San Diego State fans, it's good to reconnect with Sean Lewis in person or hear from we
talked to him for like 20 minutes in the lobby there.
Yeah, exactly, right. But I will say this: I sometimes the other school, the sports information directors will come up to us and like, "Hey, do you want to get
Colorado State
San
head
Jose
coach?
State head coach on?" I'm like, listen, if I was doing my podcast, if John Schaefer was doing a Mount West podcast, I would love to talk to every single head coach. I think for our listeners, it's a little bit of a stretch, to talk to the New Mexico.
Nothing against the guy,
running back.
Yeah.
So again, when
if you were doing
bad though, because you have to tell them we don't really have time for.
If you were doing
for that,
your Aztec Rap YouTube channel broadcasting live here, you can set your own schedule, do whatever you want, and you were just previewing the Mount West Conference this year. Yeah, absolutely. That's a little different with us. We're a sports talk radio show.
Yeah, exactly. It's just I feel like you and I are super we're super interested in serving our listeners. Does that make sense? I don't try to.
We love our listeners and we want to give them content they want to listen to.
If someone tells me hey, the World Arm Wrestling Championship is coming to San Diego. Do you want to have the World Arm Wrestling Champion on? Well, I mean, in theory, sure, but again, what is that really for our listeners? So
I would want to have them on
San Diego
to do to arm wrestle you.
Well, I would lose if I was arm wrestling my 6-year-old son, Jones.
That is correct, actually.
So the point is, we want to talk San Diego sports. We want to talk Padres. We want to talk Aztecs. We want to talk SDFC. I just don't like doing something that I feel like the audience has no business.
Brock has a very good question in our YouTube chat. Says, do you guys ever talk about the Padres?
No.
Actually,
should we talk about the Padres on this show more often or this year?
It's a good question.
We
think about it.
Rarely talk.
By the way,
Padres.
it's just a behind the scenes thing here. As everybody has left, is it a coincidence that our Wi-Fi here has gotten better?
No, it's not a coincidence.
I don't think
at all.
so. I don't think it is.
It's not a coincidence.
Yeah,
all right, speaking of the Padres, all right, these people don't think we talk Padres, even though that's obviously a joke. They will get out of the gates tomorrow in the second half in D.C.
Yeah.
I'm sure a very appropriate afternoon start for our show.
3:40?
2:01 start, 3:45, thankfully.
Oh, great.
Dylan Cease, 3-9,
Yeah.
4.88 ERA, whip, walks and hits over innings of 1.33 base runners per inning. Dylan Cease. I mean, you either turn it around Friday or I'm kind of at the point where I'm I have no faith. I'm not fully at the no faith point, but I'm inching closer there. If he goes out Friday and lays an egg, I'm in the no faith category with Dylan Cease for the rest of the year.
Here's his
I think it's fair.
4 of his last 5 starts. Here they are. 6 innings, 6 earned runs. 6 innings, 4 earned runs. 4 innings, 4 runs allowed, 3 of them earned. He had a good start on June 21st. That was against Kansas City at home. 6 2/3, 1 earned run.
Yeah.
And then June 16th at Dodger Stadium, 5 innings, 6 earned runs. So 4 of his last 5 starts, no bueno. He has got to turn it around, through the no-hitter last year in Washington. So maybe that'd
be nice.
Brings back something.
Are you calling for that because he did that last year in Washington?
I don't even care. I just want him to go like 6 shutout innings.
Yeah,
like
6 innings, 1 run.
Yeah. Can you just be consistent? You are being viewed as a frontline start. I mean, the team put you to open up the second half in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Like that right there brings some, responsibility of you got to go out there and you got to pitch like a guy that the team believes in that you are, which is a number 1, number 2 starter. And right now you haven't done that consistently enough this season. You've had moments, you've had some games where you've absolutely looked like the Dylan Cease that we saw most of the time last year.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have games like you had before the break against Arizona. Yeah, it's great you went 6 innings, but you gave up 6 earned runs. And, even Mike Schilt post game wasn't like, well, he had a couple bad pitches and it just kind of burned him. He said, this is baffling to us. This is head scratching to us. We don't know why this keeps on happening with Dylan Cease. And if the Padres have any chance in the second half, I feel like Dylan Cease is going to have to be better, a lot better than he was.
Yeah, I mean, this is not acceptable for a guy that's going to get $200 million this offseason and finish second in Cy Young voting 3 years ago and 4th last year, 3-9 with a 4.88. Forget the record. It's everything else. He's been hit way too hard this year. That has to change. Hopefully it does beginning tomorrow. Again, that'll be in D.C. tomorrow afternoon. Oh, you hear the Superman theme song, Jim. Do you hear that right now?
I do.
So this is one of your last opportunities to open the iHeartRadio app and enter for your chance to win 2 single-day badges for Comic-Con. Open the app, search for San Diego Sports 760. Do it right now. Click the little red microphone icon. Tell us your favorite superhero. While you're there, put 760 as your number 1 preset in the app, and you are eligible for 2 free badges. We're actually going to announce the winner today, Jim, around 5:45.
Okay.
So you're going to hear around 5:45 today. So right now you have 5 minutes to open the app, search for 760, click the talkback microphone icon, tell us your favorite superhero. You'll find out if you won or not today around 5:45 right here on Jon and Jim. 2 free single-day badges to Comic-Con.
Yeah, it's a great prize if you love Marvel, DC, comics, and you want to go to Comic-Con and you've never been before. This is the way to get into Comic-Con because these badges are like Willy Wonka tickets. You don't just easily go online and buy them. You got to go through a whole process. I've been through it before. It's kind of difficult. So we have a pair of tickets today, and then tomorrow is our last pair that we're giving away for Comic-Con next week. So make sure you go to the iHeartRadio app, hit the talkback mic, put San Diego Sports 760 in your presets, tell us your favorite superhero, and then you are entered to win.
All right, on the other side, a reason to bet on Luis Robert Jr. potentially for the Padres at the deadline. Plus, if you missed our conversation with Aztecs second-year head coach Sean Lewis, you'll hear it coming up at 5:30. Final hour from Mountain West Media Days in Las Vegas is next right here on 760.
All right, this update is brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. SDFC last night lost 1-0 to Toronto. Next up, they'll take on Vancouver at home at Snapdragon Stadium this Saturday night, 7:30 kickoff. 7 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts right here on San Diego Sports 760. NBA news of the day, Damian Lillard has signed a 3-year contract with the Portland Trail Blazers, and the Padres second half gets underway tomorrow afternoon, 3:45 first pitch in Washington. Dylan Cease will be on the mound for the Padres. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Final hour of Jon and Jim from Mountain West Football Media Days at the Circa Hotel downtown in Las Vegas. If you missed Sean Lewis, the head coach of the Aztecs, you'll hear that coming up around 5:30. We'll have the winner of today's Comic-Con badges coming up later this hour around 5:45 or 5:50. And again, if you hear that Superman theme song, make sure to open the iHeart app, search for 760, hit the talkback mic, and tell us your favorite superhero for a chance to be eligible to win those badges. We started the show actually talking about our luck at this trading card vending machine. But after we talked about that, we talked about Luis Robert Jr. and what Ken Rosenthal wrote today in The Athletic, which is this. Perhaps a team such as the Padres would take Robert if the White Sox included a portion of his remaining salary, something the team has indicated a willingness to do. But even then, the White Sox could not count on getting much of a return. And then there's this off the text line from 619, who says Luis Robert Jr. might be in a situation where he's checked out on a franchise that isn't investing to win like Evan Sheets, and maybe he'll just play better with a winner. It's a classic buy low. Like the classic buy low, if it plays out the way Ken Rosenthal wrote today.
I'm just envisioning like they trade for Luis Robert Jr. He comes here and he performs well. It would feel like the White Sox are the like the AAA affiliate of the Padres. Like, that's
true.
Going to the well to take all their scraps and turn them into gold here in San Diego with, Fernando Tatis Jr., who wasn't scraps. He just was an unknown. Gavin Sheets was scraps, and he has turned into a very important player with this team. Maybe they can do the same with Luis Robert Jr. But, yeah, it is a 100% buy low situation with him right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question about that. And listen, this is the time of year where players are going to start popping up in terms of names that to keep an eye on at the trade deadline. And I feel like the Padres are going to be linked to a lot of them because of A.J. Preller. Not really because of the Padres. I think more of it is about Preller. I mean, when we talked to Kevin Acee yesterday, he's like, listen, I wouldn't hold out hopes for the Padres to be huge spenders in terms of taking on salary, and their system isn't fully loaded with talent that they're just going to move players left and right. So, like, there's that spot, and Kevin said that a lot over the last couple of weeks. Like, if your expectation is for them to buy big, you might be disappointed at the deadline. But then again, he also says this part of it, which is there's always A.J. Preller.
Yeah.
And we're not saying that because they're the Padres. We're saying it because it's A.J. Preller. So that's why you're going to hear them linked to a lot of players. I don't know if they're going to come through this year like they've come through previously with some of these splashier moves, but when you have A.J. Preller, you're going to be linked to players, and that's what's going to happen over the next 2 weeks.
And, looking at the big picture here, we talked about with Kevin earlier this week, does it feel like he's, I don't want to say trying to extend his career here in San Diego, but if they don't make the postseason this year, things could get tricky as far as him returning and he's under contract for one more season.
This goes back to, you're right, what Kevin told us was it Monday or was it last week? I think it was Monday.
Monday, yeah.
Monday, Kevin said, read into it how you may, but I can't definitively say that if they make the postseason, he's extended, or if they miss the postseason, he's got one more year. Like, he's like, that alone, you're probably going to read into, as in he's doing the reporting on Preller. And here's the one key fact on Preller is for him, his biggest supporter was the former owner of the Padres, Peter, who untimely passed. And John Seidler, yeah, he shares the last name, but that doesn't mean he shares the same level of support for AJ Preller. So things have changed.
He does not have that support system that he did have when Peter was here, and that's the only person that mattered was Peter. Like, Peter had the final say, and even if people inside the organization were kind of, turned off and ready to move on from AJ, didn't matter because Peter wanted him to be here. He believed in AJ more than anybody believed in AJ.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all that mattered. Now you can't say that about the people in the organization that are of the higher ups. I don't know John Seidler's full feelings on AJ. I kind of have an understanding of where Eric Grupner stands on AJ. And those are the two people that matter the most. Those are the two people that are going to be making the decisions at the end of the day. While Eric Grupner doesn't have final say on things, he's in people's ears. He definitely has a big role with this franchise. I know that for a fact. And I know that there's a, interesting relationship there between AJ and Eric. I can tell you that.
I mean, it's really fascinating as that plays out in the backdrop. I would guess if I was John Seidler, if I was ownership, I don't know how much I allow Preller's short-term, mid-term, or long-term future to impact my deadline, but it has to impact it in some way. You have to say, here's where I am as an organization in 2025, but what am I going to look like in 2026 and 2027?
Yeah.
And what will I allow him to do in 2025 if it impacts 2026 in 2027? Again, if I was betting right now, Jim, I would be fairly confident that AJ Preller returns in 2026. Not resoundingly confident, but fairly confident. As in, I would be surprised if Preller wasn't back in 2026. But is it outside the realm of possibility that he's not? I guess not. But I think you look at it if you're John Seidler. Like, do you really think AJ Preller's not going to be here in 2026? He's under contract in 2026.
Yeah, everyone thinks that until he's not here.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because, what was it? I'm not good with math. 4 years ago? 2021? Yeah, 4 years
That's
ago?
4.
You told me 4 years ago AJ Preller was going to be gone. I think everybody would have thrown a parade. 2021, after that season, and we remember what articles were published by The Athletic and Dennis Lynn especially that offseason, it made AJ Preller and painted him in an awful light. And who was there to say, I still believe in him 100%?
Peter.
You don't have that. Now, I don't think there's going to be those types of articles coming out this offseason or anything, but still, if you asked me in 2021, AJ Preller is going to, be fired, I think everybody would have been good with it and not excited, but just like, good, move on. Enough's enough. Now, if AJ Preller were to be let go this offseason, I think it would be a total 180 from the fan base because he has done good things here over the last 4 or 5 seasons. While it hasn't resulted in a World Series, I do think that AJ has learned from his mistakes and he has, come out on the other side better for it. And he's done some really good things here of late. And I think the fan base would be actually upset if AJ Preller will let go.
Depending on how this season plays out. Because
True.
I think people kind of only remember their most recent experience as a fan.
Yeah.
So, if they disappoint in the second half and they finish 2 games behind the San Francisco Giants for the last wild card spot, then you're going to have a lot of cooling on AJ Preller. Now, I agree with you if they make the postseason and lose in the wild card. I don't think there's going to be a huge appetite to move on from AJ Preller from the fan base. If they're the 5 seed and they lose to the 4 seed in 3 games, give me the scenario. They lose to the Mets this time around.
The Brewers.
This time around, they lose to the Brewers or the Mets or the Cubs or whomever, or the Phillies, okay? And they lose in 3 games. And I don't think there's a lot of appetite to move on from AJ Preller for the fan base. I think there's the same story. Hey, when are they going to get over the hump? Maybe this isn't good enough. We'll be saying that. I think we'll say this probably isn't good enough, but I don't think there'll be a big appetite for the fan base to move on from him.
No.
Do you?
No. I
That's probably 89 wins later, 90 wins
especially
later.
too because look at the history of this franchise. How many times they made postseason in back-to-back years?
Yeah, and then you're getting rid of someone? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the last time was in
mid-2000s,
the early 2000s,
right?
And that's one of the only times in the franchise history that they made.
No,
it
is
postseason.
the only.
That's right. It is the only. Yeah, it is. You're right. They've never made the postseason in back-to-back years other than in 05 and 06 when they won the division at like 82 games.
And that includes now, unless they make
Yeah.
I mean, they're trying to do something they've done once in nearly 60 years.
Right.
Now, again, it's different. More teams make it. But still, like you're not getting there with 83 wins. Like this team is going to need to win 89 games.
And for all the I don't think problems I have with Schilt because I think he's a good manager.
Mm-hmm.
I have very little problems with Schilt on the field as being in-game manager. There are some moments where I'm like, what are you doing? But for the most part, he doesn't enrage you as a fan or someone watching them every single day with the moves he makes in game. His stuff is like post game and what he says and how he presents it is like it's cringe. But the thing that they have finally found, which AJ has been looking for the last decade, was the relationship that he has right now with Mike Schilt. He has not had that relationship with any manager that he has had in here. Andy Green, Buddy Black, right? Pat Murphy, Jace Tingler. It was good at the beginning, but the team revolted. Bob Melvin, now he finally has that relationship with a manager that he has never had. So, yeah, I think the fan base would not be happy if AJ were let go. But at the same time, there has to come a point where, it becomes stale and you got to try something different. I'm not saying this right now,
but at some point,
there will be that moment.
There'll be a time. I agree with you. All right. On the other side, again, we're going to hear from Sean Lewis at 5:30. We're going to talk San Diego State football expectations. We are here until 6. You'll hear that grand prize winner of the Comic-Con badges coming up later this hour. Don't go anywhere. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports. Oh,
look at that.
All right. Last chance today to open the app and qualify to win those Comic-Con badges. Open the iHeart app. Search for San Diego Sports 760. Click that little red talkback microphone and tell us your favorite superhero. Got to do it within the next 5 minutes. That's all you got. You have to do it within the next 5 minutes to qualify to win. So open that app right now. Qualify to win Comic-Con badges. We'll announce the winner later this hour around 5:45 or 5:50. Your last chance to qualify today for 2 single-day Comic-Con badges is right now. Open the app. Search for 760, click the talkback mic, and tell us your favorite superhero, and do it right now. You have about 4 minutes and 25 seconds to do that. We're talking San Diego State football expectations. We're also going to hear from Sean Lewis at 5:30 on Jon and Jim. All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 live from Mountain West Media Days here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We do want to remind you that AM radio keeps vital voices accessible. Congress can secure its future, but we do need your help. Text AM to 52886. Now, to support keeping AM radio in cars, tell your member of Congress to pass legislation now and keep AM radio in cars. Standard message and data rates apply. We'll hear from Sean Lewis in about 10 minutes. You'll hear today's winner of Comic-Con badges for next weekend coming up in about 20 or 30 minutes as well. So stay tuned for that. I'd say around 5:50 or so here today. You know, we've been here for 2 days. We haven't spent a ton of time on expectations for San Diego State. We'll get into it with Sean Lewis if you missed it earlier. Obviously, a completely changing time in college sports. There was a 10-year run or more, maybe a 15-year run for San Diego State, where they were among the most consistent teams in the country, led by their defense, winning 9-10 games a year. Brady Hoke, Rocky Long. But over these last couple of years, we had the final year for Brady Hoke, right? He announced his retirement. We had the first year for Sean Lewis. We've got the freedom of movement. We've got NIL. The Aztecs are coming off a 3-9 year. It goes without saying. I mean, it's easy to say it is a big year. All of the years are. It's such high stakes now in college football with realignment, the future of the sport, so on and so forth. They have to show improvement. We know that. The question is, how much improvement can they make between year one and year two? They're coming off a 3-9 year. I think for a lot of Aztec fans, they're expecting bowl eligibility for San Diego State in 2025, and we'll find out over the next handful of weeks and months if they can get there.
To be honest with you, even if they win 5 games, which would be a 2-game improvement from last year, I don't think the fan base will view that as like, oh, right on. I just don't. I think that bowl game, 6 wins, 6-6 on the. I mean, that to me would be something you could go to the fans with as like this. We're making serious improvement.
Yeah, we took a step.
We took a step.
3 more games.
3 more games. The over under here is 4.5 in Vegas. No one's. I don't think anybody's expecting a 9 or 10 win season.
Right.
Like, let's just be realistic here. That would be an incredible year. I mean, are you serious? 6 wins, I think, is realistic to ask for as a fan base. I really do. As Sean told us today, 3 games they lost last year by a total of 9 points. That was it, right?
You remember what it hinged on a little bit. The Washington State home game, they were 3-3 and had a 12-point lead.
What was the team? Central Michigan.
Well, they missed 2 field goals inside of 30 yards. They changed their kicker,
right?
And then their kicker went 13-14 the rest of the year.
So there's 2 wins that they let slip through their hands.
I mean, think about it. And Washington State had one of the best quarterbacks in the country, John Mateer. He's at Oklahoma.
Yeah,
he's a Heisman front runner this year.
And then what was the other game?
It's another game in the second half last year.
He said 3 games by 12 total of 12,
9
or
by
9
points.
points. 3 games by total of 9 points.
Yeah, I'll find it.
But it's a important year for this team.
You're right. Central Michigan by 1 point. Washington State by 3 points.
Okay.
New Mexico at home by 5 points. Those are the 3 games that, if you add it up, they lost by 9 combined points.
Okay.
And had chances to win.
So to me, my thinking is when Sean Lewis says something like that, he's thinking to himself, this year we got to get to a bowl game.
Yeah, I think that is what he's thinking, truthfully.
Like, we got to get to a bowl game.
I think he's thinking that. Here's how I look at it. Offensively, there's reasons to believe they're going to take a step forward.
I hope so.
Okay. I mean, Sean Lewis has been a great play caller in his career. He's led elite offense, Kent State and Colorado. A year ago with a freshman quarterback, that their offense kind of hit a ceiling. Offensive line, turnover, injury, not a ton of scholarship players there. They've rebuilt their offensive line. They'll have a veteran signal caller this year. Again, I don't think you need to go from 21 points a game to 42 points a game. I think you go from 21 to 28. Makes a world of difference. And then defensively, I think you're going to automatically be better with everything they're bringing back. I just think you're in a position where you shave a couple of points off what you allowed a year ago because you're returning all these starters. You score a handful of points more because you got a better, more built-up offensive line and a more veteran signal caller. You put that together, and hopefully that, now, again, easier said than done. It's easy for me to say, but I think it's very realistic to say they can take the jump from 3 wins to 6 wins in 2025, if not go beyond that. But I think it's at least realistic to say that and feel that way if you're an Aztec supporter.
Yeah, I think you're right. 3 to 6. it's still an improvement for sure.
Yeah, I think
but it's
is
not
an
a
improvement.
crazy ask, I feel like, in the landscape of college football.
Right.
Going from then 6 to 10, that's a big ask.
That's the step.
That's the step where you become just a bowl team to now you're competing for conference championships.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe if you have that, magical season, you're competing for maybe one of those spots in the college football playoff. But those are the steps you take. First year, all right, laying the groundwork, wasn't good. All right. Next year, we make the improvement. We're bowl eligible. And then
third year,
yeah, you want to see that from 6 to 9, but now the standard is set. Bowl game every year, right? Until we get to a level where we're pushing 10 wins, 11 wins, and we're competing for conference championship.
I think if you get to 6 or 7, and if you get to 6 or 7 this year, there's going to be that optimism that you're one of the Pac-12, they're heading in the right direction. And you're kind of jumping off of the right foot if you can do there and get to that 6-7 win threshold this year. And we'll see if they can. We're going to hear from Sean Lewis. If you missed it, on the other side, head coach of the Aztecs entering year 2. We'll have the grand prize winner of those single-day badges at Comic-Con coming up later this hour. Don't go anywhere. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760.
All right, this update is brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. We'll start with SDFC last night, losing 1-0 to Toronto at home. Next up, they'll take on Vancouver this Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium, 7:30 kickoff time. Our pregame starts at 7 p.m. right here on San Diego Sports 760. And the Padres second half gets underway tomorrow afternoon in Washington, D.C. Dylan Cease will be the starter for the Padres opening up the second half. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. What do you mean 3 errors? I didn't finish it. I didn't finish it. All right, I'm working on 2 things at once. Welcome to life.
Yeah.
Okay, we had a conversation, a very good one, with Sean Lewis, San Diego State's head coach. Coming up, by the way, in 20 minutes, the grand prize winner of the Comic-Con badges as well. But if you missed it earlier, we're in Vegas for Mountain West Media Days, and it was great to connect in person with Sean Lewis, who is extremely well-dressed. You need to find a photo. Find it on Jon and Jim. So we just posted a photo at Jon and Jim on X and Instagram, JONANDJIM. And we started the conversation there with Sean Lewis's new look and the new look for the Aztecs uniforms as well.
This is
a good look
from our guys up at the ASCAP shop up in La Jolla.
Awesome.
2 proud Aztec alums. You know,
Do you got anything special inside?
I don't have anything. No, we're there might be some custom pieces.
Bye, everybody.
But this was, hey, need to do this right going forward. And
looking good.
Again, Aztec Nation's everywhere. And